Hello. I request all the volunteers to ensure that parents are given a proper seat. No one should be standing at the entrance. Volunteers, please take care. We'll start the program in another few minutes. Ragavendra sir has come.
A very warm and magical good afternoon to everyone gathered here today. Respected guests, proud parents, beloved teachers, and my dear friends. Today is not merely an event, it is a moment of meaning. It is a celebration of ideas, learning of possibilities, of dreams taking shape, and of the quiet brilliance within every single child seated here. I feel truly honored to welcome you all to Education Conclave 2.0, a space where questions will open minds and insights will shape futures.
Every great beginning in our culture starts with light, not just to brighten a room, but to awaken the mind. In education, light carries even deeper significance. Just as a lamp spreads brightness silently, a teacher spreads wisdom endlessly. A child's mind, like a dry wick, ignites the moment knowledge touches it. And from that moment, the whole world around them begins to glow. At Education Conclave 2.0, lighting this lamp is our way of saying, let wisdom lead us, let clarity guide our decisions, and let every child here find the path that allows their brilliance to shine.
And with this spirit, I humbly request our distinguished guests to step forward and light the lamp of knowledge. May this flame guide today's conversations, and may every young mind here discover its own glow.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापं सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च मतिं स्वच्छां हि मे सदा रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् यस्य तिष्ठे गृहे दीपः तस्य नास्ति दरिद्रता शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं सम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Thank you, distinguished guests. Before we move forward, we would like to acknowledge a very special part of this evening, the institution that has powered this conclave with its vision, its belief, and its commitment to shaping the future of education. The Quantium International School, soon to begin its journey, is built on a promise that prepares children not just for exams, but for life in a changing world. A promise of learning that touches both the mind and the heart. Though the school is yet to open its doors, its philosophy, its purpose, and future readiness are already inspiring. Let us now take a moment to experience what Quantium stands for and the vision that guides its arrival. Please join us as we present the Quantium International School AV.
For years, Excellencia schools in Hyderabad have shaped thousands of young minds, from young delegates leading one of Hyderabad's biggest student-run MUNs to top results across our centers year after year. Excellencia built a legacy of clarity, discipline, and possibility. But the world our children are stepping into is schools in Hyderabad have shaped thousands of young minds, from young delegates leading one of leaders. And that preparation begins here. Excellencia schools in Hyderabad.
Sir,
Schools in Hyderabad have shaped thousands of young minds, from young delegates leading one of Hyderabad's biggest student-run MUNs.
Every great institution begins with a dream, but Excellencia began with a bond. Two childhood friends who shared one belief: education must prepare
across our centers year after year. Excellencia built a legacy of clarity.
I think there is an audio issue.
begins with
Before we come back again to the Quantium School, it is important to know the journey of the Excellencia Junior Colleges, the organizer of this particular event, and understand the journey that was made by the visionaries, the leaders whose belief, dedication, and purpose have shaped Excellencia into what it is today. At Excellencia, education has always been about responding to the needs of the present generation. Students growing up in a world of rapid change, new technologies, and evolving opportunities. Beyond academics, Excellencia has consistently focused on building strong foundations, adaptable mindsets, and future-ready skills. The very belief is what led to the conception of today's conclave, a platform created to help parents and students gain clarity, direction, and confidence for the road ahead. Ravikiran sir requests you to play the AV of the Excellencia Colleges.
Every great institution begins with a dream, but Excellencia began with a bond. Two childhood friends who shared one belief. Education must prepare children not just for exams, but for life. Sri Venkat Murki, founder-director, a visionary who imagined a system where discipline meets compassion and every child feels guided and valued. Alongside him, Sri Raghu Veeraballi, founder-director, a strategic leader who brought innovation, technology and future thinking into the core of Excellencia. What began as a single junior college has grown into multiple CBSE schools and campuses, built on the values of clarity, sincerity and excellence. A place where students learn to think critically, communicate fearlessly and step into the world with confidence. At Excellencia, marks matter, but mindsets matter more. Children are prepared to lead, to adapt, and to embrace tomorrow with skill, grit, and intelligence. And today's education conclave stands as a reflection of that vision, bringing together thought leaders, educators, and parents to understand the skills tomorrow demands and the choices that shape a child's future. On behalf of Founder Director Sri Venkat Murki and Sri Raghu Veeraballi, we extend our warm wishes to all dignitaries, parents, teachers, and students. May this conclave bring clarity, courage, and direction as we build skills for tomorrow's world.
Sir, is the Quantium AV ready? Next. Okay. May I request Lakshana and Freya to come and go with the next segment?
When words fall short, dance speaks. It speaks in movements that carry meaning, in rhythm that carries emotion, and in grace that carries the legacy of our culture. But above all, dance speaks of the Guru, the guiding presence who transforms a child's journey from curiosity into clarity, from hesitation into confidence, and from raw potential into purposeful brilliance. Today's performance is not just an art form. It is a salute to every teacher who lights a child's path with patience, wisdom, and unwavering belief.
Our performers Gandapalli Karthika, Chekshita Tanvi Bhumireddy, and Tondapu Prafula have poured into this performance their discipline and their devotion, and the pure joy of learning under a guiding light. Dear parents, respected teachers, beloved students, and esteemed guests, let this stage now bloom with rhythm, culture, gratitude, and grace. Let this performance remind us that when a guru touches a child's life, the whole world blooms into their dance floor. Please welcome our dance team with a big round of applause.
I think the claps are not enough. You need Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Right from the mother to the classroom teacher to the professor who teaches, we salute every teacher who is here and may God bless everyone. Before the dais gets ready, may I request the Quantium School AV to be played.
For years, Excellencia schools in Hyderabad have shaped thousands of young minds, from young delegates leading one of Hyderabad's biggest student-run MUNs, to top results across our centers year after year. Excellencia built a legacy of clarity, discipline, and possibility. But the world our children are stepping into is changing fast, and education must evolve with it. That's where the next chapter begins. Introducing the Quantium School, built on Excellencia's foundation, designed for the world ahead. A place where classrooms become labs, teachers become mentors, and learning becomes exploration. Within a 12-acre campus engineered for tomorrow. Because the future needs more than marks. It needs thinkers, makers, and leaders. And that preparation begins here. The Quantium School.
Hello. Wishing the management and the staff of Quantium School all the very best as they start the new journey. May I now request Lakshana to come. Pavan sir and Ravi sir, be ready with the AVs.
Our first guest needs no introduction. Dr. Jayaprakash Narayan Garu is a rare leader, a voice of clarity, integrity, and national purpose. A doctor by training, an IAS officer by brilliance, and a reformer by conviction. He has dedicated his life to building transparent, accountable, citizen-centered governance. He left the comforts of the civil service to start the Lok Satta movement and the Foundation for Democratic Reforms, both committed to strengthening India's democracy. Before we invite him, here is a short AV.
His voice.
There are leaders, and then there are torchbearers. Shri D. Chakraani Garu is one such guiding light, a distinguished IAS officer and an inspiring mentor. He has led with discipline, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to public service. His work in governance and education has shaped institutions and touched countless lives. Before we invite him, here is a short AV capturing his remarkable journey.
There are journeys built on comfort, and there are journeys built on courage, conviction, and compassion. Dittakavi Chakrapani is not just a bureaucrat. He is a living testament to what public service becomes when duty transforms into purpose. From the moment he entered the civil services, he did far more justice to every role he took. He carried responsibility with conviction, shaped institutions with integrity, uplifted lives with compassion, and held the aspirations of entire communities with unwavering resolve. As sub-collector, district collector, and civil service leader, he stood by integrity. He believed that education isn't just a privilege, it is a promise to every child, every family, every future. Retirement was never an end for him, it was a renewal. At 74, he walks college corridors, meets young minds, speaks of discipline, dreams, and responsibility. He reminds us that learning is lifelong and service never stops. He urges us, read daily, speak freely, think independently, set goals because character is forged, not inherited. Knowledge may open doors, but values build nations. Parents, students, dreamers, his journey stands as a beacon. No matter where you begin, with honesty, determination, and purpose, you can shine. And more importantly, you can uplift others as you rise. Because true leadership isn't about power, it is about service, not just today, but for generations to come. Dittakavi Chakrapani is a reminder that integrity still matters.
I invite Shri D. Chakrapani Garu onto the stage. Sir, we are honored West Zone of Excellencia Group of Institutions, Shri Jamshed Ahmed Garu, to graciously present the plant sapling to our esteemed guest.
journeys don't make noise. They inspire through quiet strength. Sri Tamala Arohi Mamunuru Garu is one such leader, a man of discipline, depth, and lifelong learning. He has spent decades shaping people, mindsets, and institutions with his vision and humility. His journey reminds us that when learning becomes a way of life, growth becomes limitless. To honor his inspiring path, we now present a short AV.
Every extraordinary journey begins with a quiet dream. For a young student at Acharya Nagarjuna University, the dream was simple: to learn, to grow, and to make a meaningful difference. He began his career at the Andhra Pradesh State Electricity Board, a place that taught him discipline, precision, and responsibility. But on his father's advice, he made a bold choice to step beyond the familiar and enter a technology world that was just beginning to rise. That leap brought him to Infosys, and there began a chapter that would redefine corporate learning itself. Across 28 remarkable years, he transformed classrooms into ecosystems, training into culture, and learners into leaders. From delivery ship to heading global education, training, and assessment, he proved that learning isn't a department. It is a force that shapes the future. At Stanford, he expanded that vision, gaining global insights into how talent, technology, and leadership must evolve, not for today, but for the world our children will inherit. And today, he stands at the forefront of global learning. As the Chief Learning Officer of Cognizant, he leads one of the world's largest learning ecosystems, ensuring millions of professionals grow, adapt, and stay future ready in a world that changes with every sunrise. From a modest classroom in Andhra Pradesh to shaping talent across continents, his journey reminds us that learning does not just shape careers, it transforms destinies. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the inspiring story of Sri Tamala Arohi Mamunuru. Every extraordinary journey begins with a quiet dream. For a young
Tamala Arohi Mamunuru Garu to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him warmly. I also invite the Center Head Madhapur of Excellencia Group of Institutions, Sri Ravi Kiran Garu, to graciously present the plant sapling to our esteemed guest.
Rises because someone dares to imagine the future. Our guest, Sri Ragavendra Garu, Global CEO of String Metaverse Limited, is one such visionary, blending technology, creativity, and leadership to shape the next era. To know more about his journey, here is a short AV.
Some leaders follow the future, but a rare few create it. Dr. Ragavendra Hunaski is one of those rare visionaries. A global fintech leader, a Web3 pioneer, and an entrepreneur who believes the world can be rebuilt through innovation. As co-founder and CMO of Jibu, the world's first on-chain clearinghouse, he helped build a unicorn from the ground up, processing over $9 billion in transactions and reaching a multi-billion valuation in under 30 months. Today, as CEO and executive board member of String Metaverse, he leads global teams shaping platforms in payments, high-frequency trading, tokenized assets, AI, gaming, and decentralized finance, building the digital infrastructure of tomorrow. He is also the author of Unleashing Growth, a voice that inspires dreamers, creators, and young innovators, a speaker who energizes mind, a mentor who turns ideas into action. To every young student watching his story, it says one thing: your dreams are valid, your ideas matter, and the world rewards those who dare to build what doesn't exist yet. Dr. Ragavendra Hunaski is a visionary at the intersection of technology, innovation, and imagination, shaping the digital future of our world. A Harvard Business School alumnus, Dr. Hunaski stands as a testament to what relentless learning, fearless innovation, and visionary leadership can achieve. And as he continues to redefine what's possible for industries and individuals alike, his message echoes across generations. The future belongs to those who build it.
I now invite Sri Ragavendra Hunaski Garu to the stage. Sir, we are honored to have you with us.
Every great decision needs a sharp mind to guide it. Professor Satakran Shastri, Group Vice President, Strategy at eThames Group, is a global thinker, a powerful communicator, and a mentor who brings clarity wherever he speaks. To introduce his journey, here is a short AV.
In every generation, a few educators redefine how learning shapes the future. Professor Satakran Shastri, Group Vice President for Strategy at the eThames Group, is one such visionary voice, inspiring thousands across India and beyond. With global exposure across the United Kingdom, the UAE, Switzerland, Singapore, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka, he brings international learning perspectives to Indian students. He has spoken at the India's most respected institutions: ISB, IIM Bangalore, IIT Madras, NIT Surat, and many more. He is one of the only 4 professors chosen by IBM for the Great Mind Challenge, an initiative raised for revitalizing the culture of quizzing and innovation. He was invited by the US State Department and Niti Aayog to the Global Entrepreneurship Summit inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Ms. Ivanka Trump. A powerful public speaker and TEDx voice, he has engaged in conversations with icons like Dr. Shashi Tharoor, John Scully, and Jeffrey Archer, adding depth, clarity, and inspiration wherever he speaks. From classrooms to global stages, from mentoring young minds to guiding senior leaders, Professor Satakran's journey is a testament to passion, perseverance, and purpose. His story inspires us to think bigger, aim higher, and prepare our children for a world beyond boundaries.
May I now invite Professor Satakran Shastri onto the stage. May I request Shiva Kotireddy Garu, Shivaram Kotireddy Garu. Sir, Satakran Shastri Garu, I request you to set the tone for discussion that will empower every parent and every student here. The stage is yours, sir.
I have about 15 minutes to set the stage, set the context, and also to give you a sense of what is the spirit, the purpose behind this conclave. But before I begin the panel moderation work, as I said, I have a 15-minute presentation. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I have 4 stalwarts on the dais, 2 exceptionally renowned civil servants and 2 corporate leaders. So I don't want to give a lecture. This is called a lectern. And anybody who speaks from behind a lectern is called a lecturer. This is, dear parents and students, this is not the age for being the sage on the stage. This is the time to be the guide by the side. So my presentation is going to be right there. I'm going to come down with the permission of our esteemed panel speakers, and I'm going to make a presentation for 15 minutes or less. But before we begin the presentation, I want all the parents and students to please stand up and stand firm for a minute or two. The esteemed panel speakers and the faculty are excused, but the parents and the students, please stand absolutely firm. Pull out your mobile phone, hold it in your right hand, and let's take an oath. Let's call it the no more oath. That you have heard about namo, this is no more. And what no more is, you'll know in a minute. So please extend your hands with the mobile phone and say, I hereby solemnly declare that I shall not let the mobile phone come in the way of my learning and development. All right, now turn your phone this way, kiss it goodbye for the next 1.5 hours. And this is a point that I've been telling in on many occasions in many forums, that the mobile phone, this mobile phone is exceptionally powerful. This is very powerful. It is so powerful that Sir will attest to what I'm saying, that the Apollo guidance computer, which took Edwin Aldrin and Neil Armstrong to the moon in 1969, this phone has more computing power than the Apollo guidance computer. The question is, are we using this mobile for our benefit, or are we using it to our detriment? The answer is obvious. Please sit down, and thank you for playing along with me. Doesn't look like... Okay, so we will play my slide deck, 15 minutes or less. We keep talking about a term called demographic dividend. And I want all the parents and teachers to please understand this. India is one of the youngest nations today, right? More than 70+ crore Indians are under the age of 35. So while India has very young and favorable demographics, the rest of the world is struggling. America, Europe. Europe is so old that Europe is sometimes called a museum. Whereas China, because of its one-child policy, which began sometime in the 80s, they are struggling today. And Japan is such an old nation that it is sometimes humiliatingly called an adult diaper nation. But India, on the other hand, has very young population. It is this young population that has to drive growth for the next 3 to 4 decades. So it is the responsibility of parents to ensure that they give their best education to their kids. It is our responsibility as gurus, as mentors. I keep saying, in a world where you have a choice, please be a mentor and not a tormentor to your students. So with this, I start my presentation. Next slide, please. So our dear friend of India, Donald Trump says, please switch off your mobile phone and switch on your mind. I think this is important. Today, I'm told there is a report by Red Seer which says a typical teenager today is spending about 6 hours on a mobile phone. 6 hours every day on a mobile phone. And what is it doing? It's increasing our cortisol level, right? Stress. It is also spiking our dopamine. Dopamine is a pleasure, addictive neurochemical. So the more they are on mobile phone, the tougher it becomes for them to focus on what matters. And dopamine is a very, very, very addictive and exceptionally bad neurochemical to foster. So the number one thing that I would like all the students and parents and academic regulators and school management to do is, can we have at least for a few hours a day a strict mobile curfew? As I told you, if you were to use this tool very well, you can be anywhere in any part of the world and still have the best of knowledge, information, and insights. But unfortunately, our brain is not wired for positive things always. Next slide, please. I'm going to wrap it up in the next 10 minutes or so. Next slide. Okay, look at this. Interesting, isn't it? It took Leonardo da Vinci about 14 years to create the Mona Lisa. And it took Midjourney less than a second or two to create this. Today, technology gives you a lot of power. Right? It actually makes you feel you are an expert, even though you aren't. And that is what AI does. So I keep telling that AI in the future will not be artificial intelligence, but Acharya intelligence. You need the guidance of a teacher to help you find the right way. So a guru or an Acharya is the wayfarer. The next one, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so the title of the theme is Building Skills for Tomorrow's World. But if you look at that quote, it's called Cogito Ergo Sum. It means I think, therefore I am, which means that ultimately the quality of our life, the quality of the world is built by the quality of the thoughts that we have. So please foster good thoughts, read, have social intelligence, go out, make friends, have great conversations. Ultimately, a great life is defined by the relationships and great learning that we do. And as I said, new technology, artificial intelligence, your mobile phone, Internet of Things, robotics, all of these are taking us away from our social and emotional intelligence. Next slide, quickly, please. Okay, a very interesting slide, which it is derived. This slide actually talks about a theory in technology called the Frankenstein effect. I'm going to take the liberty of going here. The man thinks I am God. The man thinks I will play God, right? So he thinks I'm going to create this technology. This technology is under my control. Without his own knowing, the technology becomes so powerful that at some point of time, the technology destroys man. So the Frankenstein effect says, first the man created technology, and then the technology killed man. So we shouldn't reach a stage where we get to that position. Next slide, please. All right, again, the mobile monster. We were okay as long as the office goers were still okay, but the mobile phone, as I said, is a focus killer. It's a distraction promoter. In fact, you talk about nuclear weapons or the weapons of mass destruction. A mobile phone is a weapon of mass distraction. And distraction, my dear students, in the long run is destruction. Next slide, please. Okay, any guesses who this gentleman is? Important, general knowledge. Sir keeps talking every time Chakraani sir comes to our college. He talks about the importance and the enduring value of reading newspapers. Any idea? Don't check Google and tell me. Sam Altman, very well. Sam Altman. Sam Altman is the founder of ChatGPT, the OpenAI. Next slide, please. If you thought ChatGPT was a very powerful tool, wait for this. Google Gemini 3 is 2x more powerful than ChatGPT. That's Demis Hassabis, who won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry this year. Also a brilliant neuroscientist and the head of DeepMind in Google. That is the cauldron, that's the laboratory where the next generation technologies are being built. That's Demis Hassabis. Next one, please. Matter of great pride to all of us. Any idea? Quickly. We have a panel discussion to do. Arvind Srinivas, Perplexity. Within 3 years of the founding of Perplexity, it is a $5 billion plus organization. See how powerful AI is? In fact, there was a time about 20 days ago, sir, when NVIDIA, it's an AI company, NVIDIA became a $5 trillion market capitalization company. Imagine one company in the US has a market value which is more than the GDP of India. So you realize how powerful AI is becoming? Look at examples like this. Next slide, please. Okay, Ray Kurzweil, very interesting. If you thought what you are seeing, what you are experiencing today, right? AI, if you think AI is a big deal, it is a big deal, but it's going to become a monster in the future. This guy is Ray Kurzweil. He was a researcher, he's still a researcher at Singularity University. He says by 2045, the machine intelligence will surpass human intelligence. 2045. He came back recently and said, I am sorry, I made a mistake. Singularity is not 2045. Singularity can be in the next 5 years. So AI, if you think AI is dominating our life, please understand it is the big daddy of technology. We have to use it well. Next slide, please. Okay, lecture method. Nothing has changed. The lecturer is behind the lectern. The students are listening, and this gentleman here is sleeping like the students behind. Right? Sleeping. So, whose job is it to engage the students? Our job. Right? I don't know, there was a Chinese philosopher who said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I think when the teacher is ready, the students appear. So, it is our job to make sure that we learn, that we unlearn, that we relearn as teachers. And I'm very happy that Excellencia is taking up this wonderful initiative to enlighten the teachers, parents, and students. Next slide, please. The classroom of the future, Oculus VR. Next, please. Okay, I'll quickly run through what I think are three very important things, and of course, we will build on that during the panel discussion. Number one, entrepreneurial and innovation mindset. Very, very important, entrepreneurial mindset. It is said the word entrepreneurship comes from a French word called entreprendre. I am not sure, I'm not going to vouch for that. It is said that the French word entreprendre comes from a Sanskrit word called anta prerana, inner motivation. Okay, so you have to build entrepreneurial mindset. In 1991, we have two very remarkable civil servants. In 1991, we were struggling as a country. We were on the verge of bankruptcy. We opened up our economy to what we call the LPG license. We became a liberalized, privatized, and global economy. And today, thanks to the efforts of the government and the entrepreneurs, we are one of the hottest countries on the map. Next one, please. Okay, so very, very important. I keep telling all my corporate clients, thou shalt communicate well, and thus shalt thou rule the world. If you want to be a leader, you have to be a good speaker. And in order for you to be a good speaker, you have to be a good reader. So please read. Dedicate some time every single day to reading. Dedicated reading for a couple of hours makes you a sharp thinker and a fantastic speaker. Last slide, though there are 12 more slides. The last slide, please, and then we'll open up. Okay. While I was preparing for my GMAT in 98, 99, I had to go to the British Library for information. When sirs were preparing for their civil service examination in the 70s or 80s, they would have gone to a Chikatpalli library or a state central library in Afzalganj. But today you don't need that. Anything that you want to access can be accessed right here. Right? See how knowledge has become democratized and how geography has become history thanks to technology. So with this short presentation, I would like to thank the organizers, especially Chandrasekhar Garu. Your first call inspired me. It's been a very tough day for me. I spoke in some other forum, but thanks to his persistence, I'm here. So please give him a round of applause. I also sincerely believe that gratitude is a superpower. Gratitude is a force multiplier. And the more grateful you are for the good things you have, the greater the universe will throw your way. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I now request our distinguished panel members. We'll begin with Dr. J.P. Garu. Sir, please give us a sense of your perspective on the theme, building skills for tomorrow's world. After the initial round, we will have a pointed question for you. It's an absolute honor to have such legends in our midst. So let's please give them a thunderous round of applause.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. సబ్జెక్ట్ గురించి ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ ఉన్నారు. ఆరోహి గారు కానీ రాఘవ్ కానీ అంతకంటే ఎక్కువ మేము చెప్పేది లేదు. నాకు అనిపిస్తుంది చక్రపాణి గారు కానీ నేను కానీ వాళ్ళు ఉద్యోగాల్లో ప్రవేశించారు ప్రయత్నం చేస్తే మాకు ఎవరు ఉద్యోగం ఇవ్వడని చెప్పాను. ఎందుకంటే మాకు వాళ్ళకి కావాల్సిన స్కిల్స్ ఏం లేవు. అంచేత సమాజం దృష్టి నుంచి 3 మాటలు చాలా క్లుప్తంగా. మొట్టమొదటిది, తల్లిదండ్రులుగా మనందరికీ మన పిల్లలు ఎదగాలన్న కోరిక ఉంటుంది. మన దేశంలో నా పిల్లలు నాకంటే గొప్పవాళ్ళు కావాలని కోరుకోనటువంటి తల్లిదండ్రులు ఉండరు. ఏ కులమైనా ఏ మతమైనా సరే పిల్లల కోసం ఎన్ని త్యాగాలకైనా మనం సిద్ధం. దాంతోపాటు అభద్రతా భావం కూడా ఉంటుంది. మన పిల్లలు ఏమైపోతారన్న భయం బెంగ మనందరికీ, నాతో సహా. నేను కోరేది ఒక్కటే, రేపొద్దున ఉపాధికి పనికి రావాలి అంటే సంపద సృష్టించాలి. సంపద సృష్టించాలి అంటే డబ్బు కూడబెట్టడం కాదు. హైదరాబాద్లో ఎకరం స్థలం సరైన సమయంలో కొనేస్తే చాలా డబ్బు వచ్చేస్తుంది. అది సంపద సృష్టి కాదు. సమాజానికి అవసరమైన వస్తువుల్ని, సేవల్ని ఉత్పత్తి చేసే నైపుణ్యం కావాలి. అది ఏదైనా కావచ్చు. ఆ శక్తి ఉంటే ఎక్కడైనా బతుకుతారు. అది లేకపోతే పొరపాటున ఎవడన్నా తలకు మాసిన వాడు ఉద్యోగం ఇచ్చినా నిరర్ధకమైన వాడుగా మిగిలిపోతారు. ఎక్కువ ఆలోచించబోకండి. ఇందాక ఒక స్లైడ్లో పెట్టారు, అన్నీ వదిలిపెట్టేయండి. ఇంతకంటే మెరుగైన సమాజాన్ని మనం సృష్టిస్తున్నామా లేదా? మెరుగైన సమాజం అంటే ఏంటి? మన సమాజంలో మనకు అవసరమైన వస్తువుల్ని, సేవల్ని, నిజంగా అవసరమైన వస్తువుల్ని, సేవల్ని ఉత్పత్తి చేస్తున్నామా లేదా? ఇది మొట్టమొదటిది నేను కోరేది. రెండోది, నేను చక్రపాణి ఉన్నాం కాబట్టి ప్రత్యేకంగా చెప్పాలి, తల్లిదండ్రులకు ముఖ్యంగా చెప్పాలి. ప్రభుత్వ ఉద్యోగాలు అంటూ ఉన్న ఈ బెర్రి ఉందే, వేలం వెర్రి, దాన్ని పక్కన పెట్టేయండి. ప్రభుత్వం ఉద్యోగాల కోసం కాదు ఉన్నది. ప్రభుత్వం మన పన్నుల డబ్బుతో మనకి పనులు చేయడం కోసం. అది చేయడంలో వాళ్ళు అది చేస్తే ఈ దేశం ఎట్లా ఎందుకుంటుంది? ఇంతకుముందే రాఘవ నేను మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నాం. ఇంజనీరింగ్ చదివిన తర్వాత బీటెక్, ఎంటెక్ డిగ్రీలు ఉంటాయి. 180 మందికి ఇంజనీరింగ్ పరిజ్ఞానం లేదు. వాళ్ళకంటే చదువురాని మెకానిక్ మెరుగు. మెకానికల్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ చేస్తే, నాన్న ఈ స్కూటరో లేకపోతే కారు కొంచెం ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చింది చూడు నాన్న అంటే, వాడు తీసుకుపోయేది చదువురాని మెకానిక్ దగ్గరికి. ఎందుకంటే వాడికి నైపుణ్యం అన్నది వీడికి లేదు. విద్య ఇంత అధ్వానంగా తగలడింది. ప్రభుత్వం తన పని తను చేయడం లేదు. విద్యా ప్రమాణం నిర్ణయించే బాధ్యత ప్రభుత్వానికి. 80% మందికి విద్య ఎందుకు అందట్లేదు? ప్రభుత్వం ఎంత ఖర్చు పెట్టినా ప్రభుత్వ వైఫల్యం వల్ల. ట్రాఫిక్ ఎందుకు గందరగోళంగా ఉంది? ఇక్కడ ఈ సమావేశానికి రావాలంటే మనం ముందుగా చూసి ట్రాఫిక్ ఉంది లేదా GPS అరగంట ఎక్కువ పడుతుంది, తక్కువ అయింది, కంగారు పడుతున్నాం. ట్రాఫిక్ అధ్వానంగా ఉంది. ఎవరు దాన్ని నిర్వహించాల్సింది? ప్రభుత్వం. వర్షం వస్తే వరదలు ఎందుకు వస్తున్నాయి? పెద్ద వర్షాలు ఏం కాదు, మనం నటిస్తున్నాం. కొద్దిపాటి వర్షాలకు వరదలు వస్తున్నాయి. ఎందుకని? కనీసం వర్షపు నీటి ప్రవాహం కూడా సరిగ్గా లేదు కాబట్టి. ఇన్ని వేల కోట్లు తగలెడుతున్నా రోడ్లు ఎందుకు తగలెడుతున్నాం ఇట్లాగా? పట్టించుకునే ఆతులు లేడు కాబట్టి. చెరుపుంజి గురించి మీరంతా వినుంటారు. విన్నారా? గుర్తుందా? చెరుపుంజి మౌన్సీరం ప్రపంచంలో హైయెస్ట్ రెయిన్ఫాల్. పెద్ద గంగాళం పెడితే 60 అడుగుల వర్షం, ఎవాపరేషన్ లేకుండా ఉంటాయి. కానీ ఎండాకాలంలో నీటి కొరత ఉంది. తెలుసా మీకు? ప్రపంచంలో అత్యధిక వర్షపాతం ఉన్న ప్రాంతంలో అంతకంటే ప్రకృతి మనకేమొస్తుంది? నీటి కొరత ఎందుకు వచ్చింది? బుద్ధి లేదు కాబట్టి. అలాంటి ప్రభుత్వంలో చేరాలి ఇంత తప్పనెందుకయ్యా? ఆ ప్రభుత్వోద్యోగాల కోసం చెప్పని అయితే జీవనమరణ సమస్యలుగా పోరాటం ఎందుకయ్యా? లక్షలాది మంది జీవితాలను తగలెట్టుకుంటున్నారు. నిజంగా సమాజానికి ఏమన్నా చేయాలని కోరుకుంటే ప్రభుత్వోద్యోగంలో చేరడం తప్పు కాదు, కానీ అది జీవన పోరాటంలా ఉండకూడదు. పంచవర్ష ప్రణాళిక, దశవర్ష ప్రణాళిక కాకూడదు. అదే జీవితంలో ముఖ్యమన్న పిచ్చి పోవాలి. ఈ అధికార లాలసం అన్నదే, ఈ పదవి వ్యామోహం అన్నదే దేశాన్ని కుళ్ళబడుస్తున్నది. కాబట్టి ప్రత్యేకంగా తల్లిదండ్రులు కోరుతున్నా, ఈ పిచ్చి గ్లామర్తో పిల్లల బతుకులు నాశనం చేయబోకండి. సమాజంలో పనికొచ్చే పనులు అద్భుతమైన బోర్డు ఉన్నాయి. ఓ జిల్లా కలెక్టర్ కనుక 10 రోజుల పాటు పనికి రాకపోతే మీకు నాకేమైనా తేడా తెలుస్తుందండి? అరే మా కలెక్టర్ గారు ఆఫీస్కి రావట్లేదంటే నా జీవితం నిస్సారంగా ఉందని మనం అనుకున్నాం. అదే మీ బాత్రూంలో తూములు పూడిపోతే, ప్లంబర్ రాకపోతే ఒక్కరోజు బతకలేం. ఎవరు ముఖ్యం మనకి? కాబట్టి ప్రభుత్వోద్యోగాలు వెంపర్లాడు. ప్రభుత్వం వద్దని అంటల్లా, మేము వద్దని ప్రభుత్వంలో చేశాం, కానీ అదే పరమావధి, అది చాలా గొప్పది. దానికి ఒక పెద్ద కిరీటం పెట్టాలి, కొమ్ములు ఇవ్వాలి, వాళ్ళకి తలవొగ్గి ఉండాలి. అది లేకపోతే జీవితం నిస్సారం అనేటువంటి మూర్ఖత్వం సమాజానికి చాలా ప్రమాదకరం. ఇది రెండోది నేను కోరదలుచుకున్నది. మూడోది, చివరిది, ఈవేళ ఉపాధి కల్పన ఎట్లాగో మన ఎవరికీ తెలియదు. టెక్నాలజీని వీళ్ళంతా ఇంత వేగంగా మారుస్తున్నారంటే, చాలామంది ఆలోచన పరులు చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే, మీ పిల్లలు ఇవాళ చదువుకుంటున్న పిల్లలు, స్కూళ్ళలో చదువుకుంటున్న పిల్లలు చేయబోయే ఉద్యోగాల్లో 70% ఇంకా మనం సృష్టించాల. 20 ఏళ్ల తర్వాత ఎలాంటి ఉద్యోగాల్లో వాళ్ళు ఉంటారో మనకు తెలియని కూడా తెలియదు. కాబట్టి ఫలానా నైపుణ్యం ఉంటే ఉద్యోగం వస్తుంది అనుకోబోకండి. నేర్చుకోవడం ఎట్లాగో నేర్పండి. మంచి పునాదులు ఇచ్చి నేర్చుకోవటం ఎట్లా, మారుతున్న సాంకేతిక యుగంలో అవసరాలకు అనుగుణంగా మనం మలుచుకోవటం ఎట్లా, కాస్త ధైర్యంగా ఉండండి, భయపడిపోకండి. ఆ నేర్చుకోవటం ఎట్లా నేర్చుకోకపోయినట్లయితే రేపొద్దున ఈ మారుతున్న ప్రపంచంలో పనికి రాకుండా పోతారు. ఈలోగా స్కూళ్ళల్లో ఇందాక చెప్పారు, ఇలాంటి స్కూళ్ళల్లో ఇబ్బంది లేదు, కానీ మిగతా స్కూళ్ళ కోసం చెప్తున్నాను నేను. అన్నీ ఇలాంటి స్కూళ్ళు అయితే దేశంలో ఇబ్బంది లేదు, నాలాంటి వాళ్ళని హాయిగా నిద్రపోవచ్చు, వేటకలలు రావు, అర్ధరాత్రి మెలకు రాదు. కానీ రోజు అర్ధరాత్రి మెలకు వస్తుంది ఆందోళనతో. ఎందుకని? 180 మంది పిల్లలకి పొట్టగోస్తే అక్షరం మొక్కరాని చదువు అబ్బుతున్నది. మార్కులు బ్రహ్మాండంగా ఉంటున్నాయి, ర్యాంకులు అద్భుతంగా ఉంటున్నాయి. ఏం తెలుసు అంటే ఏమీ తెలియదు. 3 విషయాలు కనీసం పిల్లలకు అబ్బితే కానీ స్కూల్లో, అంతకంటే ఎక్కువ వస్తే సంతోషం. ఒకటి, ఇందాక వారు స్లైడ్లో చూపెట్టినట్టుగా కమ్యూనికేషన్ అండ్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్. ఇతరులు చెప్పిన దాన్ని లేక చదివిన దాన్ని అర్థం చేసుకోవటం, భావాలను స్పష్టంగా నిర్దిష్టంగా ప్రకటించడం, అది మొట్టమొదటి. లేకపోతే అసలు మనిషి కాదు. అది లేకపోతే మనిషి జీవితంలో ఎందుకు కొరగాడు. రెండోది, గణితం కాన్సెప్ట్స్ పట్టుబడి సమస్యల పరిష్కారానికి కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఉపయోగించగలగటం. ఇంత చిన్న విషయం అని మీరు అనొచ్చు, కానీ 150 మంది పిల్లలు తెలంగాణలో గడియారం చూసి టైం చెప్పలేరు, రాత్రి ఎన్ని గంటలు నిద్రపోయావని చెప్పంటే లెక్క చెప్పలేరు, మార్కెట్లో 1000 రూపాయల వస్తువు మీద 10% డిస్కౌంట్ ఇస్తే ఎంత డిస్కౌంట్ వచ్చిందంటే చెప్పలేరు. నిజమేనా? కాబట్టి కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అర్థం చేసుకుని అప్లికేషన్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ సాల్వ్. పరీక్షలు, మార్కులు, ఈ చెత్త ర్యాంకులు అనవసరం. మూడోది లాజిక్. ఆల్ సైన్స్ ఈజ్ లాజిక్. తెలిసిన లేక గమనించిన విషయాలని లాజికల్గా తార్కిక శక్తిని ఉపయోగించి కొన్ని నిర్ధారణలకు రాగలరా, దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ సైన్స్ ఈజ్. ఈ 3 సరిగ్గా వస్తే కనీసం పునాదులు అన్నట్టు లెక్క. ఆ పైన కొద్దిగా ఫైనాన్షియల్ లిటరసీ స్కూల్ స్థాయిలోనే. నాలాంటి వాళ్ళని బడుద్దాయిల్లాగా పెరిగా ఏమీ ఫైనాన్షియల్ లిటరసీ తెలియదు. ఏదో మామూలుగా పరీక్షలు, మామూలుగా స్కూళ్ళు తప్ప ఇంకోట్లేదు. వెరీ ఫూలిష్ అప్బ్రింగింగ్. కొద్దిగా ఫిజికల్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, నేను చిన్నప్పుడు స్కూల్ నుంచి వచ్చినప్పుడు ఇంత లావుగా ఉండేవాడిని, నాకు తెలియని కూడా తెలియదు. ఆటల్లో, పరుగులు అన్నిట్లో లోయెస్ట్ జంపు, షార్టెస్ట్ జంపు అన్నిట్లో పనికి రాకుండా పోయాం. ఫిజికల్ 3 హెల్త్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, ఈ 3 ఫౌండేషన్స్ ఇవ్వండి. బట్ అబవ్ ఆల్ ప్లీజ్ మన ప్రేమ అనే పాషన్తో ప్రేమ వాళ్ళని లిబరేట్ చేయాలి కానీ బంధించకూడదు. ప్రేమ అనే పాషన్తో అభద్రతకు గురయ్యి ఈ పిల్లలు ఏమవుతారో అన్నటువంటి శంకతో జంకుతో వాళ్ళ సృజన శక్తిని ఆపేపోకండి. అలా ఆపేస్తే ఒక రాఘవ మనకి పెరిగేవాడు కాదు, అలా ఆపేస్తే ఒక ఆరోహి గారు అలా ఎదిగేవారు కాదు. లెట్ దమ్ ఎక్స్ప్లోర్. As long as there is a discipline, as long as there is a purpose, as long as there is a direction, let them explore. If necessary, let them commit mistakes. Do not be afraid. We are living in a better and better world every day. Kompe munigipodu okasari kinda padite. They can stand up again. I hope we will give our children a chance. I hope we will give our society, our nation a chance. I hope the 80% kids who are not getting the minimal quality of education and yet going through this bogus process of education with ranks and marks, they'll get some decent chance in life to make something of themselves and of our society. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very articulate presentation, sir. You spoke about the importance of problem solving. Problem finding is equally important. When we keep our eyes and ears open to what's happening around us, then this discovery mindset happens, and that is a very crucial element in a student's learning journey. So thank you very much for that. Now we will get a corporate leader's perspective on the theme. Tirusur, I now request you to please share your take on the theme.
Thank you, sir. I hope you can hear me. There's a little bit of a problem in the back side when we are trying to hear, we're not able to hear well. So that's why I wanted to confirm that. And that also makes me, I use this always as an example of how certain skills are growing and everyone is talking about AI. But the unfortunate irony is no one has mastered AV skills. Right? The audio video is always a problem no matter what we try. So I know you are able to hear well, but somehow the challenge is there in the backside where we are not able to hear. I think this is okay. You can hear me okay, right? No, I'll try and give you my corporate perspective, but before that, I'm happy to see so many parents coming here with your kids. I don't know who brought whom here. If the kids brought the parents or parents brought the kids, I think we need to really understand that. See, I've been in the industry now for 33 years. I am from a place called Vikarabad, which is about 70 kilometers from Hyderabad. When we were growing up, we didn't really know much. Right? The only source of knowledge or the source of information was going to library or your father basically who will give you some wisdom nuggets and say, hey, study well, do well. If you do well, you can actually build your career, and things like that was what we were told. And then when I did my engineering, I did engineering in electrical engineering. And that was the time where IT industry started to kind of bloom. A lot of people went into IT industry, but then I said, I'm an electrical engineer. Why should I go into some field where I have developed my skills in electrical engineering? Why should I go into information technology? So I did 4 years of my work in electrical electronics. I worked in Andhra Pradesh State Electricity Board. It was fantastic experience in terms of applying, as Sir was saying, applying the skills that I learned in terms of commissioning 250 megawatt plants to the grid and everything. But the growth was not there, meaning the concept of skills and the concept of career when I was growing up was you learn certain things and you are set for the life. You don't really need to do anything, right? You learn something, you get into the job, your learning stops and your earning starts. So learning is done and earning is starting. And when I made my shift to the corporate world, my father insisted that, why are you just staying in this government job? Why don't you do something where you can expand your professional thinking, you can expand your personality as well? And he made me actually apply for Infosys, and I joined Infosys. But when I joined Infosys, something clicked me. I never had any background in computer science. I never really had any information around information technology. But, the company said, don't worry, you come in here. I will test you for certain skills, which they call it as learnability. Right? Even now, I know some of the corporates actually test you for learnability, which is all about your analytical skills, logical skills, problem-solving skills. Most of the time, they give you a problem, they ask you to fix it or solve it and things like that. The same way I was hired. But then they put me into 3 months of training into computers, the background of computers, Java programming and things like that. And they made me get into a production job, and I started working that way. For first 8 years or 9 years, I was fine. Whatever I learned for those 3 months, I was able to kind of build my career with that 8 months. Company was growing, I grew with the company. But when the financial crisis in 2008 hit, a lot of companies started to reimagine what needs to be done for developing their business. And suddenly I also had to figure out that, whatever I learned so far will not help me. So I started to learn data warehousing, data analytical skills, a lot of different things. That again helped me for 5 years. After 5 years, again, the cloud technologies came, and again I had to learn the things. So what is happening actually is, as I'm taking my own journey of my career at Infosys, I already was seeing that, the world is changing so rapidly, not the pace at which it is happening right now, but world is still changing, where every 5 to 6 years, I had to continue to acquire new skills. What is that new skill? Obviously is based on the technology that is disrupting at the time. So right from initial programming languages to data warehousing to cloud to now everyone is talking about AI. But it also basically brings us to a belief that, after having spent a lot of my time building my own career, my leadership felt that, we need to develop our own learning infrastructure, which means any student whom we are hiring, we believe that they are not ready for the corporate world. So we started creating our own education program, and we call it as Campus to Corporate. No matter where you are, what college you studied, what discipline you did, we take you, and then 4 to 6 months we actually train you and help you acquire skills, and then again put you into production. So that actually started us think about why this is happening, where if every corporate also has to start developing skills, training people, then what is actually happening in the colleges, right? Whether it is a intermediate +2 or whether it is engineering or any other college, why is it that a corporate has to spend time training students to become ready for the job? I'm talking more from an information technology and computers kind of world. Engineering and core engineering and other things definitely will be a little bit different. But that is where I think a lot of association have happened in terms of corporates guiding in academia in terms of what changes needs to happen in the way you look at degrees. So the fundamental shift that has happened in my career time is people have stopped asking questions around what is your degree. More than degree, what are your skills? And what are some of the skills Sir articulated nicely? Problem finding skills, problem solving skills, communication, empathy. I think these are all human skills, right? It is surprising that today, when AI is taking over, we are talking about humans. We are talking to humans about human skills, which is all about social skills, problem solving, analytical. It's a very big irony, unfortunately. But we have also come past this COVID, where people started becoming very kind of secluded in their own life. Most of the kids today, I think whoever has seen that 4 years of COVID, they have been in the home, they have been in their own secluded zone. Technology also rapidly came in. As Shastri sir was talking about, the mobiles have become supercomputers. every information is there in that particular thing, right? So if I have to articulate the problem statement or the question that what are the skills for the future that you need to really think about, the first thing is obviously what helped me in my own career, the skill of learnability, meaning be open in terms of understanding what changes are happening around yourselves and what actually will make you kind of get excited in terms of learning new skills. So learning to learn itself is the first skill that I would say that you need to look at it. The second is, again, I think Sar already said and even Shastri sir said, you need to be a lifelong learner. If you are thinking that, whatever you are going to do in your college and it is going to help you settle down for your life, you are mistaken. So you need to be a lifelong student. So don't think that, after next 4 to 6 years, once you start getting into job, if you are happy and you don't have to learn, that is never going to happen. You have to be a lifelong student. And other important thing is don't focus on marks. In fact, at our age right now, we always get into what we call as reunions, right? How many of your parents have gone for a reunion, college reunion? Almost everyone, right? And a reunion is one of the biggest myth buster. So when I went for my first reunion a few years back, when we saw all the students coming in, I thought some of the students, I believe I always one of the good learners or good student. There was a backbencher and front bencher thinking in the college. But when you go to the reunion, you see that the students or the friends that you believed may not do well in their career, they are actually the ones who are really doing fantastic thing. Meaning, what they learned in the college, what they did in their academics, what degrees they got, whether their percentage was less or not, but if you go and look at it, they are the real ones who in terms of developing their own careers, in terms of creating their own companies, figuring out, creating kind of freelancing kind of entrepreneurial mindset, and they are doing phenomenally well. And that was the day, that reunion was the day where I came back home and I said, I am not going to force my kids, I have 2 sons, I said I am not going to force my sons to become very good in getting marks, not 90% marks, 100% marks. I want them to make sure that they understand the world better. I want them to understand the domain, especially, when I was growing up, for me, banking, what is banking, I never knew. What exactly is shopping, I never knew. But today's students, they are used to all these things. They do GPay today, meaning they know how to do the finance elements of it. They know how to manage their own finances. They do shopping online. They basically figure out tourism. They book their tickets online and everything, which means you know the industry well. And students today are what I call them as the digital natives or AI natives. So if you know your all the different industries which are important in a personal life well, as a parent, you have to encourage them to understand how certain technologies can be used to kind of reimagine what they will need as a end customer. So whatever that happens, so one of the skill I would believe which will help you when AI takes over a lot of jobs, today's jobs, is how can you reimagine future jobs, because you as a digital native or AI native can start to focus around what new things can be done, and thereby you can actually start the new wave of skills needed in that. So as parent, don't focus on marks. It's easy for us to say when you are on the other side, but that is absolutely the right thing to know. The last important thing, and I will again articulate it in the next part of the discussion, is as parents, I'm pretty sure you are also students today. I hope you have to become an example to your student in terms of your own career. I'm pretty sure you are learning new things because you have to be relevant in your own career. When you are looking at your son, while they are learning the academics and they are building their life skills and academic skills, you should become an example to them and say, how can they imagine future is all about continuous lifelong learning, being a lifelong student, and building the skills which is continuously changing and being ready for it. So adaptive mindset is something that as parent, you need to teach them that. So those are the things that I wanted to say, and then I will look for the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. that your professional and personal reality is determined by your personality. The way you dress, the way you communicate, the way you build social equity and team building, all these. Before I request Chakraani sir, I wanted to say this. His work style and his work schedule at 74 is punishing even for a teenager. 4 years ago, sir had invited me to speak to some officers in AP HRDI Bapatla. I'm an early riser. I wake up at 5:30. I go for a walk. I was walking when I saw a gentleman, Chakraani sir, was walking earlier than I was doing. So he's somebody who believes that, who believes in health mantra. He's been one of the finest officers of this cadre, sir. It's a great honor. Please share your perspectives. A round of applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Kiran. And ఈ హాల్లో ఎక్కువగా పేరెంట్స్ కనపడుతున్నారు విద్యార్థుల కంటే. So I think I need to formulate my own communication in terms of the parents, and I know what I made mistake as a parent. The world is exploding. Like Jayaprakash garu cheppinattuga, there is an explosion of knowledge. And in this explosion of knowledge, let me tell you that the generation of today is far more brilliant than my own generation. I have no hesitation in saying this. Teachers, please understand that the students today are far more brilliant, far more perceptive. I can't answer the questions asked by my grandchildren, and they are just 13, 14. And I've had the opportunity of looking at some of these young innovators at 13, 14 at a meeting convened by Mr. Hanuman Chaudhary. 13, 14 ఏళ్ల పిల్లలు, they have been innovating is fantastic. కాబట్టి వీళ్ళల్లో ఉన్న ఈ వైవిధ్యాన్ని మనం పూర్తిగా గమనించి దానికి అనుగుణంగా మనం మన జీవిత విధానాన్ని ఆలోచనల్ని మార్చుకోవడం ముఖ్యంగా పేరెంట్స్ నేర్చుకోవాల్సిన మొదటి అంశం. And the opportunities are also exploding. Opportunities not in terms of highly professional knowledge, but in terms of the capacity to assimilate different aspects of functioning, different aspects of discipline, etc. That's why you find an organization like the IIT Hyderabad or IIT Chennai or IIT Kharagpur opening up medical schools. Because ఈ రోజున ఉన్నటువంటి వైవిధ్యానికి సంబంధించినటువంటి ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ని అసిమిలేట్ చేసుకోవడానికి మనం పిల్లలకు ఒక అవకాశం ఇవ్వాలి. I think this is what is more important. I went to IISc Bangalore the other day, one of the best institutions, and it's the best scientific institutions in this country, one of the best in the world. The kind of work that they do is fantastic. కాబట్టి కేవలం అటు ఇంజనీరింగ్లోనో మెడిసిన్లోనే కాకుండా సైన్స్ ప్రక్రియలో కూడా ఎన్నో అవకాశాలు ఉన్నాయి. The DRDO has about 39 labs today. The 50 labs. The CSIR has about 39 labs. Thousands of scientists work in them. And they do work relating to various aspects. ఇంతకు ముందు కొంత ఇతర దేశాలకు సంబంధించినటువంటి సమస్యల్ని వాళ్ళు పట్టించుకున్నా ఈ మధ్య లాస్ట్ 10-15 సంవత్సరాలుగా మన దేశంలో ఉన్నటువంటి సమస్యల గురించి కూడా వాళ్ళు చాలా తీవ్రంగా ఆలోచించడం జరుగుతుంది. సో దిస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ డెవలప్మెంట్స్, దీస్ కైండ్స్ ఆఫ్ డెవలప్మెంట్స్ ఆర్ ఎమర్జింగ్. కాబట్టి వాళ్ళల్లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఈ వైవిధ్యానికి మనం ఐ థింక్ వీ షుడ్ బి ఏబుల్ టు ప్రొవైడ్ ది ఆపర్చునిటీ. అంతేకాకుండా మన చుట్టూతా జరుగుతున్న విషయాన్ని తెలుసుకోవడం కూడా అవసరం. For instance, the Telangana government produced an excellent document about 2 days back, Telangana Rising. I asked the college to circulate that document to at least some of you. దాంట్లో ఉన్నటువంటి అవకాశాలు ఏమిటి మనకి? ఈ రాష్ట్రంలో ఉన్నటువంటి అవకాశాలు ఏమిటి? అండ్ థ్యాంక్స్ టు ట్రంప్, I don't think many of your children will have the opportunity of going and taking their chances in at least US. But there may be chances in places like Germany, Japan, etc. అందుకని ఈ అవకాశాలను పెంపొందింపజేసుకోవడానికి మనం చేయవలసిన పని ఏమిటి? భాషల్ని నేర్చుకోవడం ఎట్లా? జర్మన్ లాంగ్వేజ్ నేర్చుకోవడం అవసరమా కాదా? జాపనీస్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అవసరమా కాదా? I think these are the issues on which the parents and the teachers would be focusing. In fact, I am glad that the Telangana government for nurses has started courses in Japanese and in German. కాబట్టి ఇటువంటి అవకాశాలని మనం పూర్తిగా చేజిక్కించుకోవాలంటే మన ఆలోచనల పరిధిని విస్తరించుకోవాలి. దట్స్ వై ఐ ఆల్వేస్ టెల్ ది స్టాఫ్, ది టీచర్స్, దట్ దే షుడ్ ఇంప్రూవ్ their own perspectives. They should improve and link up with the institutions of excellence. The linkage between academic institutions and the brilliant work being done by startups. ఈ రోజున దేశంలో దాదాపు 7 కోట్ల పైన స్మాల్ అండ్ మీడియం ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఈ 7 కోట్ల స్మాల్ అండ్ మీడియం ఇండస్ట్రీస్లోనూ దాదాపు 15 కోట్ల మంది వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు. So brilliant young men like Mr. Ragavendra, Mr. Venkat have been able to provide opportunities in our own country. ఇటువంటివన్నీ గమనించినట్లయితే మన యొక్క ఆలోచన విధానాన్ని కూడా దానికి అనుగుణంగా మార్చుకున్నట్టయితే అవకాశాలు చాలా ఉంటాయి. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఇందాక ఆయన చెప్పినట్టుగా ప్రాక్టికల్ నాలెడ్జ్ అనేది చాలా ముఖ్యం. ఐ ఫైండ్ ఐఎమ్ right now associated with Andhra Melasava Arts and Science College. I find that the computer teachers there seek the assistance of an intermediate. The computer teachers there can't repair a computer. They teach computers that they take the assistance of a person who is maybe drawn from the old city, who has not studied, who has not gone beyond intermediate, but he is able to repair the computer. So this kind of a practical orientation, like Jayaprakash garu already chepparu, a practical orientation for meeting the day-to-day requirements is absolutely essential. అందువల్ల మనం మన యొక్క అవసరాలని పూర్తిగా గమనించి మన దేశంలో ఉన్నటువంటి అవసరాలతో, మన దేశంలో ఉన్నటువంటి అవకాశాలతో పుణికి పుచ్చుకుంటే తప్ప ఐ డోంట్ థింక్ దెర్ విల్ బి ఎనఫ్. అండ్ దెన్ ది స్టూడెంట్స్, ది యంగ్స్టర్స్ నో ఇట్ బెటర్ దెన్ ది పేరెంట్స్. ఐ పర్సనలీ ఫీల్ కోర్స్ సర్వీస్లో అవకాశాలు ఉన్నాయా లేదా? మాలాంటి వాళ్ళం ఆల్ ఇండియా సర్వీసెస్లో కానీ, స్టేట్ సర్వీసెస్లో కానీ, తర్వాత ఆల్ ఇండియా సెంట్రల్ సర్వీసెస్లో కానీ we were able to get opportunities. But the point I think Jayaprakash was mentioning, అంతా చూస్తే 1500-2000 పోస్టులు దేశంలో, whereas the opportunities available for those in industry are numerous. ఇది గమనించే, there are both these Telugu speaking states, I'm sure they are doing an excellent job. విశాఖపట్నంలో డేటా సెంటర్ పెట్టడం కానీ, అమరావతి దగ్గర క్వాంటమ్ కంప్యూటింగ్ చేయడం కానీ, తెలంగాణలో ఒక 10 డిఫరెంట్ స్ట్రాటజీస్ ద్వారా, గేమ్ చేంజర్స్ ద్వారా వాళ్ళ యొక్క డెవలప్మెంట్ చేయడం కానీ, ఇవన్నీ కూడా గమనించుకుని అధ్యాపకులు ముఖ్యంగా గమనించుకుని ముందుకు తీసుకువెళ్ళాలని అనుకుంటున్నాను. వాళ్ళ ప్రాక్టికల్ ఎక్స్పోజర్, పిల్లల యొక్క ప్రాక్టికల్ ఎక్స్పోజర్ రైట్ ఫ్రమ్ intermediate sections should enormously increase. దీన్ని గమనించే న్యూ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ పాలసీలో కూడా ఈ ఇంటర్న్షిప్స్ కానీ, స్టార్టప్స్ కానీ అవకాశాలు విస్తృతంగా పెంచడం జరుగుతుంది. వీటిని కూడా గమనించి ఒక డేటాబేస్ ఏర్పాటు చేసుకుని ముందుకు పోవాలని కోరుకుంటూ, I always believe that our longevity is increasing. The oldest living Indian probably died recently at the age of 122, Swami Sivanandan. All the children are capable of beating his record. All the children. The only thing is, వాళ్ళ ఆహారంలో వాళ్ళ జీవిత విధానంలో కొన్ని మార్పులు తెచ్చుకుంటే this kind of a thing is possible, and I wish all your children and the students here will be able to beat the record of Swami Sivanandan కోరుకుంటూ సెలవు తీసుకుంటున్నాను.
Thank you, sir. For that, we will build on what you shared with us during the panel discussion. And we have one pointed question to all the panel speakers, after which we will open it up for a parent and student Q&A. I would now request Shri Ragavendra Hunaski Garu to please share his views. You can take that.
From there? No, I think this is loud. I'm audible? I'm feeling nervous amongst all the luminaries here. And I am a shining example of what Sir said, last bencher, people who didn't study well. So I'm like a standing testimony of what a last bench student is. So a quick story and a background. I grew up, I'm from a family of priests. I come from a temple town called Mantralayam. So I grew up there, very normal school. And as a kid, we were given the task to give the Tirtham and Prasadam. And people will come touch your feet. So that got us into a very, very wrong notion that, oh, I am already great. My middle name was Gandhi. All my cousins used to call me Gandhi because my scores were always between 36 to 38%. 40% was a luxury. So that's how I did my schooling. Somehow, with lot of difficulty, in my 12th standard, I was able to get 52% and got into engineering. I did my engineering in computer science. I mean, later on, God was kind. I ended up doing MTech, MBA, PhD, and all of that. But I was a horrible, horrible student during my college, during my studies. So if any of you feel, you know, your marks is reflection of where you land in life, then please, you know, that's, I mean, I personally feel that's not, you know, a great example. From there, I'll tell you a journey of, you know, I mean, I'm a parent too. My kid studies in Excellencia. She's also in the 12th grade. And I'm sure a lot of parents here are also anxious, you know, on, you know, what our kids will do, how they will do, and all of that. So I'll get straight to the question that is being asked. What is the skill? What is the important qualification that our kids should have? So I finished my engineering, did my MBA. Like every other person, aspired to go work for a good company. I worked in Infosys. I worked in the Shibulal CEO's office. I worked at Google. I was the employee number 7 or 8 in Google India. I worked in, you know, Google India, New Zealand, US, everywhere. Worked at some of the large companies and then became an entrepreneur. I became an entrepreneur because I always loved doing things. Like again, lot of people who were toppers, you know, people who went to great institutions like IIT, went and studied, you know, great courses. They went and became good engineers in Microsoft, Huawei, all of that. And me being a last bencher, after a certain point, I didn't know what to do. So I started a startup. The startup was more for thrill. Let's do something on our own and see how things work. But God was kind. I always say it is always God's blessing and grace. Startups became hit. My most recent startup became the fastest unicorn in New York. And then now a public listed company. But what I want to tell is the only skill, the only ability that our kids today need is be the best in the world on what you do. You want to become a painter, be the best painter on the planet. You want to sell something, be the best salesman. You want to write a program, be the best programmer. You want to do something, do it with full passion, and trust me, you will be unbeatable. I mean, this is a suggestion that not just coming from me, but a lot of great people. We also need a lot of people to run and build our country, right? I mean, for us here, you know, Shri JP sir, Chakraani sir, they are the people who build the essential fabric of our society. So all the guys who are toppers, think beyond IIT and IIM. Again, I'm not here to say IIT is bad. Please don't brand me like that. IITs are good, IIMs are good. If your kid is great and he is passionate about doing something, aspire them to become, go to IAS, be an IPS, because our country needs a lot of brilliance. If your kid is very passionate about music, make them a great musician. If your kid is great at photography, make them the best photographers the world has seen. And trust me, they will build unicorns, they will build companies, they will surprise you in the ways that you wouldn't have thought. If your kid is great in chit-chatting, baga katal chapter ante, put him in sales. He will be the best sales guy. If your kid is good in, saying a lot of BS, good. Put him in marketing, put him in branding. He will build great brands. If your kid is great in storytelling, put him in arts and entertainment. I am telling you, the future generation is generation of entrepreneurs. If we want to see our country dominate, I mean, India is on the growth path, no matter what people say, no matter what anybody says. We will kick ass every country on the planet, whether it is US, whether it is China. How are we going to do it? We are going to do it purely with entrepreneurship. Our kids will go out and build phenomenal stories. The second point I want to tell every parent, from the time your kid is 7th grade, 8th grade, 10th, 11th, 12th, send them for internships. I was talking to Sir, what Quantium School plans to do is very important. Your kids from 7th, 8th standard should start interacting with the real world. Please don't keep them in your safety and comfort zone. My own daughter, when she was 8th grade, in her summer vacations, I used to take her to my office in New York. And I told her, her only job is to serve coffee to all my customers and sit in the room and listen to what we are talking. 9th grade, I told her, you take down notes, what we are talking. 10th grade, I told her, answer my emails on my behalf. And in 11th grade, my daughter built a company which raised funding and became, phenomenal, very decently famous. So involve your kids in business, involve your kids in entrepreneurship. If you are a software engineer in Wipro, please make your kids sit with you and tell them what is software engineering, what is client services, how to build a happy customer, how to build a phenomenal story. If you are a teacher, tell your kids about education. If you are, whatever you do, please educate your kids. Don't wait for them to go to engineering, 4 years engineering, chadukoni tarvata. No, it doesn't work like that. 7th standard, 8th standard, talk to them about building businesses. Talk to them about building great stories. Today, the opportunity that we have is unprecedented. When we were passing out, my parents' dream was, if my kid joins some Wipro, some Infosys, wears a formal clothing, it was a big deal. Oh, my son is a software engineer. Today, your kid can go out to moon and do space mining. Today, your kid can... Hyderabad is a city which has 2 phenomenal space tech companies. We are giving tough competition to the likes of SpaceX and NASA. And I'm not BSing, please go and Google search, you will know. What I'm trying to say is the potential is unlimited. Please don't templatize what your kids should do. If your kid says, I am interested in rock music, buy him the best guitar, send him to New York, let him learn the best music, he will end up becoming one of the finest musicians. If he doesn't become a musician, he'll become an entrepreneur. Doesn't become an entrepreneur, he will become a best music art director. If he doesn't become that, he'll become a best businessman. But please don't force your kids to follow the template, to follow the rigor. That is the most important thing. The last thing, as parents, I wanted to share my personal story and also what I have seen in the world. When I was not scoring well, my parents always had this tension. I remember my parents having this anxiety, we'd life lo emaipotado, will he do anything good in life or not? And I have seen my mom and my dad do, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sunday. They didn't leave any God, they didn't leave any temple. They used to say, somewhere my son should do something meaningful. And a lot of times when we became a unicorn, when it came in Bloomberg, when we were in all over the media, my parents couldn't believe. And obviously, they didn't even know what unicorn meant. But they were like, something good has happened in our life. So trust me, sir. I mean, we are all born in India. I think there are 3 good things of being born in India. Number 1, being born in India, you are born in a country of billion+ population, right? So you are competitive from birth. You are competing with billion people, not like some US or some country where there are only 100 million people. Number 2, being born in India, we are born Jugadu. Jugad and innovation comes to us in our blood. Nobody can beat us on that. We are always, when I went and studied in US, when we studied overseas, There used to be Chinese kids, there used to be American kids, very hardworking. We used to go chill, hang out in canteen, watch pirated movies. 3 days before exams, pull the night out, and we used to score very well. What does it mean? It means Indians are jugadu, and we will do very well. The third and most important thing is, we are born and we live in a land where Lord Shiva, Lord Venkateshwara Swami, Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, they have all walked. So we have extra grace of God. Please trust me, everybody will do well in their life by the blessings of God. So please don't take tension, don't have that anxiety. Understand, as a parent, we all have it. Ultimately, by God's grace, I think everybody will land in a great place and great show. The last point before I conclude, I don't want to take much time. Like I said, I'm the least knowledgeable guy here. So the last point I want to tell is AI, bots, all of that are inevitable. Anybody who says AI is only hype, serious cheesko kandi, no, it is a wrong statement. Today, I run a 5,000 crore market cap company, 30, because 90% of my work is done by bots, AI. We have everything from market management to capital markets to customer service. Everything is done by AI in my own company. And happy to host you, to show you how we do it. But it is real. So please train your kids in advanced technologies. I'm not telling everybody should learn AI. Please ask them to learn what is futuristic. Please ask them to learn what is most promising in the world. And the last and most important thing, as a parent, please, I know you all do it, give them unconditional love and unconditional blessings. With parents' blessings, your kids will go out and conquer the world. Doesn't matter what they study, they will go out and do brilliantly well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. One takeaway from your presentation is, there is a phrase. The phrase is, walk the talk. If the parents want the kids to listen to them, please understand that the children follow your actions and not your intentions and words. If you keep watching the same old Telugu TV serials in the evening and want them to study IIT, they'll not do that. On a very jocular note, ఎప్పుడో 2008లో వచ్చిన ఫైనాన్షియల్ రిసెషన్లో మొదలైన తెలుగు సీరియల్ ఇంకా నడుస్తుంది. And my mom keeps watching that till eternity. So please, if you want your kids to listen to you, please understand, kids, they have very intense radar. So they scan your intent, they scan your actions and not just your words. So if you want them to follow you, walk the talk. So thank you very much. With that, we are done with the first round. We have a quick one question round for each of our speakers, and then we open up the session to questions from the parents and students. I'm sure a lot of interesting questions that will be coming our way. Sir, I'll begin with Chakraani, sir. So we keep talking about the importance of emotional intelligence. We say more than IQ, more than your intelligence quotient, it is your emotional quotient which will be useful in the long run. I'm sure in your service you would have seen how EQ trumps IQ sometimes at least. So we would like you to help us understand, why is emotional intelligence important in an AI-driven world, and how can parents help their children build EI?
You see, the focus today is basically on IQ and not emotional intelligence. The manner in which parents are now gradually veering down to emotional intelligence also I've seen. Because I find that my own children, both of them are reasonably qualified, they treat their children much better in terms of the emotional intelligence. They try to cater to their requirements. They try to instill sense of values in much greater measure that I have been able to do in my service. In fact, my son has improved much better after he has gone abroad, spent about 17 years, slugged it out and came back. He is now co-founder of a startup. My daughter quit her job as an engineer, and then she has now become as somebody was saying, a storyteller. She teaches stories at home and tries to make the most out of her. So emotional intelligence is important because of two reasons. One, you need to deal with the rest of the society You need to cope up with the problems of the world. And today, I think they are able to cope up to the problems much better than maybe about 30, 40 years back. I was heading a committee on suicides in corporate schools, corporate colleges about 10 years back, and I know what it is to teach the emotional intelligence among students. I think that these days the parents are far more focused on bringing up the children. It's important that in terms of your ability to cope up with the problems of the rest of the world, you have a perspective. You try to respect the other person, not deride. You try to be empathetic. I think the element of empathy in terms of the capacity to understand the best, a lot of students today are trying to understand. They try to see the positive qualities. They try to recognize them. And that's where an institution like the Lady Sri Ram College, where conflict resolution is studied as a post-graduation, at the level of post-graduation. So I think that kind of a conflict resolution also should be taught in some of these corporate colleges, because I find that the students who come out of government schools and colleges are much better in dealing with human beings than those who are part of the corporate colleges. So I think it naturally comes to them, but I think it's necessary that emotional intelligence also is taught. Corporate colleges, they really, they lack all these facilities which are aimed at the multifarious development of the student. There are no libraries, no playgrounds in most of the corporate colleges that I have seen. Maybe about 10 years back, maybe the situation has changed or not, I'm not sure. But I think there is need for a lot more of that in the corporate institutions.
Thank you very much, sir. With that, we'll move to Dr. JP. Sir, in your presentation, you spoke about problem solving and risk taking. Sir, how can schools, universities, and especially teachers, how can we develop that critical thinking and problem solving among our students?
I don't think we need to do anything original. Already, several educational curriculums all over the world make it part of the standard education, except in India. We are the only country where you don't allow the children to work with their hands. You don't allow the children to go out into the world and see the relationship between what you study in textbooks and what's happening out there in society. I've seen political science graduates and masters who do not understand what is voter registration, what is an electoral system, how actually democracy works. They give you all definitions of democracy, sovereignty, blah, blah, blah. So forget the textbooks. Once you understand the concept, go out into the society. Work with your hands, work with the society, work with the industry, and learn. As Raghav said, when he invited your acoustics were terrible. I thought your daughter was working with you and you encouraged her. So what was he doing? He was not asking her to pick up a degree and then get some marks. He was asking her to observe, to learn, to apply the mind and see where it leads you. So once you apply this technique, from small to big, from mechanical to social to political to complex technological issues, the kids will find solutions. Illiterate kids in Africa, I'm told, you must all tell me how far it's true, they were illiterate, literally illiterate. They were given mobile phones or tablets. They were just asked to fiddle. Within 4 or 5 weeks, they mastered the art of using them. I can't use them. I knew one very eminent chief minister who did not know how to switch on TV. I don't know how to make electronic payments, even now. Because we were not exposed, we were not really used to problem solving. Whereas illiterate kids in Africa, just given an opportunity to work with their hands and with their tools, they could pick up. So the world out there teaches you a lot if only you give them an opportunity. Let them occasionally commit mistakes, but they will not go wrong. Ultimately, they'll learn. Be bold. The world out there teaches you much more than all the textbooks put together. Forget curriculum, forget the syllabus, forget the examinations. Just conceptual understanding, application of knowledge, problem solving, innovation to solve the problems, then they become the heroes of this country and the world.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll now move to Thiru, sir. Very pointed question. What makes a student? We have taken the macro view. I would like you to give us very specific, pointed recommendations or suggestions to our students. What makes a student, if you were to guide some of the parents here with regard to their children, what makes a student industry and work ready? Industry and work ready, ready for the workplace.
I think there is not really, this is fine, I think. There is not really like one skill or two things that will make students ready, but I will take inspiration from a recent speech by Satya Nadella, right, when he was in India. He basically talked about 4 sets: the skill set, the mindset, the tool set, and then the data set. So if I have to take that as an example and then apply it in terms of what in the AI-driven world or AI-disrupted world, mindset is the first important thing. I think, like Sir said, be the best of what you can be, in the sense, let the students not get worried, let the kids not get worried about, I may not be able to do this, I may not be able to do that, but give them the confidence, build them that resilience as a human skill to be ready for anything that they can do. They can learn anything, they can try anything. So that is the first important thing, the mindset, the growth mindset if it is. Even the good news is, one small change in terms of what you said, even if you can't be the best, the good news is AI will fill you. Like Sir said, understanding the problem, identifying the problem and intelligently looking at how to solve it. And even if you don't know the capability or don't have the full capability, today AI actually can complement you. But the first mover has to be this. First is the mindset, according to me. The second is tool set. I think you nicely said 6 hours is the time that kids spend on a smartphone. Right? Tool set is important. I think parents nowadays, when they look at kids using phones or other things, they are always worried that screen time is actually happening. But my view is, how do you use the technology which is available in a tool set, whether it's a phone, whether it's a good media subscriptions and things like that, and ability for them to understand that, whatever they want as a mindset improvement, the tool set is there for them to kind of take it forward. Skill set, I think it varies. The third element is skill set, which is varies, meaning if you want to get into IT industry, obviously programming skills, little bit of basics of programming, computing, what is hardware, things like that. But then the other element of domain skills. So if I have to look at skills, I would bucket them into technology skills, human skills, then domain skills, and then what we call as foundation skills. Foundation skills is where, like Sir said and even Chakraani Sir said, whether it is emotional empathy or problem solving, critical problem, whereas human skills are all social communication, interactions and everything, right? The last one is data set. I think one of the important things for everyone to understand in future is how do you make meaning out of data. That I think generally I have seen students in India not focusing much. They directly jump into things, but what is the underlying data? How do you make inferences around it? How do you take patterns out of it? And then build your human skills to kind of solve the problems and things like that. The last one is, I said that before, I think this is the first time after a long, long time we are going to see 3 generations of family working together at the same time. So if you can actually create a culture at home where father, mother, son, grandfather, all of you are talking together, learning together, understanding things, I think that is what I would say will help you in terms of looking at anything. Because today, the interesting problem and the irony, as I say, is there are 4 to 5 million open jobs. There are 10 million students coming out into what we call as outside the college. They are getting out of the colleges, but they're not ready for the jobs. But there is also so many new jobs coming in because of AI. So if you can build this mindset, tool set, the entire data set, and then the skill set, and bring the colon set between parents and kids, I think they will be ready for any changing future. You can take this again.
Thank you very much for that, sir. For the benefit of the parents and, of course, the teachers also, I would request you to, there is an organization in Davos, Switzerland called the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum releases a report every other year called the Future of Jobs Report. One of the key takeaways is that many jobs that will be in demand in the future don't even exist today. So my question for Ragavendra sir is, how do you prepare? How do you visualize? What are the roles that will be in demand in the future? And can you think of some roles that don't exist today that may be in demand tomorrow?
Perfect. So I think, I mean, the world is changing. Obviously, the world is changing at an unprecedented pace. And a lot of things that we did not know exist will continue to grow and thrive. Like one of the most promising space right now is space tech. People are talking about space mining. How do we mine natural resources from space and bring them back to Earth? The future is going to be a lot about automation. How do we reduce the human involvement and increase the machine involvement? How do we explore, outer space? How do we do things that is probably 100x of what we are doing today? I mean, the same thing that the idea we started my previous startup that we built was how do we reduce the transaction time from 2 days to 4 seconds and be able to transfer money from any part of the world to any part of the world. And that's how the business came into existence. So it is about hyper scale, hyper growth, and less of human and more of automation. And like you beautifully said, I'm part of World Economic Forum for a long time. And there are many other organizations that are talking about future of employment, future of humanity, future of opportunity. So one best place for all of us is to go out and read these research reports, read these articles, the thought leadership articles that talk about where the future is going to be. And that will give you a phenomenal peek into what we are doing, right? There is another beautiful study that says the world is going to be permissionless and ownerless. The next generation, the Gen Zs, the Gen Millennials, don't want to own buildings. They don't want to own real estate. They don't want to own cars. Everything is on demand, right? Everybody wants to just, order an Uber and travel in car of their choice. Keep living in different continents, in different places. So if we are able to look at the future predictions on what technologies will be and start aligning in that direction, I think we will do phenomenally well. And one most important point is it is going to be gig economy. I mean, we are already in gig economy and it is only going to increase. No more boss, no more manager, no more physical office, no more, one place where I want to make sure everybody comes in at 9 o'clock, leaves at 5 o'clock. No, it doesn't work like that. The previous company that I was running had about 160 people from 21 different countries. And the maximum concentration we had was 8 people in one location in Dubai. Everywhere else, we had people from Ukraine, we had people from Poland, we had people from India, and that is how the world is going to be. And as long as we are prepared for it, and I'm sure we will do very well. Again, the most basic and crux of everything is be extremely good in whatever you do, and you will succeed.
Thank you very much. With that, I would like to thank all our esteemed panel speakers. We now open up the session to questions from the parents and students. Please, we have a 15-20 minute window for a Q&A session. Please identify yourself, and ask the question. Yes, please. Maybe a mic can go to the parents and students, and as I said, please identify yourself and ask us a question.
Hello everyone. Namaste Jay Prakash sir, Namaste Chakraani sir. Can you hear me? Little? Is it audible? Right? A very good evening to all of you. Distance? Am I audible right now? No? Clear. వినిపిస్తుందండి ఇప్పుడు ఓకే so he's saying it's not clear actually. Is it clear now? Okay, is it clear now? వాళ్ళ దగ్గర పెట్టుకోమంటున్నారు okay all right cool. Firstly, thank you so much for making all of us to hear you. Namaste to all of you. You have been an inspiration for 90s born, including Raghu and me and many of the parents, especially Jay Prakash sir. So you made one statement, if you or Chakraani sir come, corporates may not have a job for you. But being a corporate employee and corporate person, today I would say we need more of Jay Prakash sir and Chakraani sir, where we have IQs, but EQs is what we will be learning from you, right? So in today's education world, that is what I requested Mr. Venkat sir as well. Include as part of your engagement in the curriculums, where your weekends is not for your competitive exams, but your problem solving, right? Your root cause analysis and your innovation, right? On that note, again, a very well point said, sir, today government school, remote schools ki education opportunities anta levannar, where we can conduct such practical possibilities through our own students, right, from colleges, taking them to the remote places and make them understand what they have and what they don't have, right, making them teach there. Putting all together, what can we bring to education systems like Quantum or Excellencia? What is the idea that you would give that can make students excel with IQ, what Raghu or today and Arohi sir are doing it, along with your generation EQ levels that is very much needed in the corporates today. I hope I'm clear on the question. A message to all the education places and parents where the 90s generation or your generation EQ levels of problem solving approach, along with running world of AI IQ is needed. How can the colleges or educational institutions bring it together? Right?
Is this, yep. Chakraani sir, you can maybe start because you're,
ఇప్పుడే అంటున్నారు ఆరోహి గారు ఏ మాట్లాడుతున్నావు ఏవే నేర్చుకుందాం అని చెప్పిన ఆడియో విజువల్ మనకు చాలా ఇంప్రూవ్ కావాలని చెప్పాను. Acoustics are very important for any communication. Unfortunately, oftentimes, the people who build infrastructure don't realize the importance of it. తెలుగులో ఒక సామెత ఉన్నది, ఉట్టి కగలనేమో స్వర్గానికి ఎగురుతానని చెప్పాను. నేను నిజాయితీగా చెప్తున్నాను, నేను ఈవేళ విద్యను గురించి ఇంత పెద్ద కూడా ఆలోచించట్లా. ఎంత అధమ స్థాయిలో ఉన్నామంటే ఈ దేశంలో, ఇందాక నేను చెప్పిన 3 వారు చెప్పారు, కమ్యూనికేషన్, మ్యాథమెటికల్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అండ్ అప్లికేషన్ అండ్ లాజిక్. అది కనీసం స్కూళ్ళల్లో మాదిరిగా వస్తే నేను చాలా సంతోషపడిపోతాను. అది అయిన తర్వాత అప్లికేషన్ ఆఫ్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ సాల్వింగ్, ఇందాక మనం డిస్కస్ చేశాం. అది అయిన తర్వాత ఏ సెన్స్ ఆఫ్ సిటిజన్షిప్, understanding the relationship between you and the state. Adayaka, go beyond that, look at the whole society at large. And finally, look at all of planet Earth, because ultimately we are all indivisible. వివేకానంద చెప్పినట్టు మ్యాన్ మేకింగ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, నేను ఇంకా అంత స్థాయికి వెళ్ళటల్లా. ఇక్కడే లేని వాళ్ళం ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తాం? బట్ one of the challenges, let me slightly deflect this. One of the challenges of emotional education today is, or emotional intelligence today is, while many, many things are good about modernity, there are some things which are bad. We all grew up with several siblings. ఇవాళ ఒక్కళ్ళు, చాలా సందర్భాల్లో ఒక్కళ్ళు, కొద్ది సందర్భాల్లో ఇద్దరు. The capacity to share, to understand the other person's concerns and point of view చాలా తగ్గిపోతాను. గోటితో భోజనం గొడ్డల్లాగా తీసుకొస్తాను. చిన్న సమస్యను చాలా పెద్దదిగా మార్చుకుని పెద్ద పెద్ద మాటలు మాట్లాడి గందరగోళం అవుతాను. So the family structure itself is causing a lot of emotional rupture. To the extent possible, socialization at an young age. అక్కడ మన ఫ్యామిలీలో పిల్లలు ఎక్కువ లేకున్నా కూడా 10 మంది పిల్లలతో షేరింగ్ టైం అండ్ ఎఫర్ట్, ఇన్ మై జడ్జ్మెంట్, ఈజ్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ కంట్రిబ్యూషన్ వీ కెన్ మేక్. ఎక్సెసివ్ గ్యాడ్జెటరీ ఇచ్చేసి, సోషల్ మీడియా, ఈ మొబైల్ ఫోన్స్ ఇవన్నీ ఇచ్చేసి వాళ్ళు ఆనందంగా ఉన్నా కూడా తృప్తిపడిపోయినట్టయితే దే ఆర్ బికమింగ్ వెరీ వాలటైల్, very incapable of understanding other people's concerns, incapable of controlling their own mind and emotions, magnifying minor issues, blowing them out of proportion, and generally becoming maladjusted. Rendodi, as you rise in leadership, as you see Raghav and Arohi and others, at one level technical capability, next managerial capability, but as you rise in leadership, what matters is the capacity to inspire a whole team, a capacity to read the room, a capacity to understand the context, because most big change is a function of the power of the context. మన మనసులో ఏదో ఉంది కదా అని చెప్పని మనం అంతా కక్కేస్తే ఏం జరగదు. I'm normally not autobiographical, but let me slightly switch over. I have been privileged in participating in bringing about at least 4 constitutional amendments in this country. ఒక్క ఎంపీ లేడు నాకు. గొప్ప పని ఏం చేయాల. ఫస్ట్ బీ ప్రిపేర్డ్, బీ ద బెస్ట్ దట్ యూ క్యాన్ బీ. ఇందాక రాఘవ్ చెప్పారు, యూ కెనాట్ బీ ద సెకండ్ బెస్ట్, యూ మస్ట్ బీ అబ్సల్యూట్లీ ద టాప్ ఆఫ్ ది గేమ్ అండ్ బీ రెడీ. వెన్ ద ఆపర్చునిటీ presents itself, read the room, understand the context, and in those few minutes you learn how to communicate in a way that the other person finds the rationale in doing that, or a team finds the rationale. So emotional intelligence is not only about your own emotions being under check, stataprajnatvam, it's also about the other person's emotions, state of mind. How do you pursue it? Because human beings are unique. No other animal has this propensity. We can speak. We can communicate more effectively than others. And therefore we can work in large numbers. Oftentimes we don't know each other. We don't have the genetic bond. We don't have any kinship. And yet we have to work and cooperate with each other. So unless you learn to read the room, unless you understand the power of the context, you cannot really accomplish anything worthwhile beyond technical stuff. So I think giving them an opportunity to be working in teams right from early on, from sports to collective enterprises, socializing and spending time with each other, and a little less addiction to gadgetry. Well, I'm very fond of technology myself, at least as a user, but I don't think excessive use of technology is a very wise thing. Helping them to come out of that addiction of excessive technology and gadgetry and human relationships, and remembering above everything else, everything is about making lives better. Everything is about using your technology, your understanding, your intelligence to make somebody's task in life, somebody's quality of life better. Therefore, how to apply that, and therefore understand the other person's concerns. I don't think there's much more to it. మన ఓల్డ్ ఫ్యాషన్ ఫ్యామిలీ వాల్యూస్ మళ్ళీ తీసుకొస్తే కొంత మేరకు, ఓల్డ్ ఫ్యాషన్ కమ్యూనిటీ వర్క్, సోషలైజేషన్ తీసుకొస్తే ఈ ఐసోలేషన్ స్థానంలో I think a lot of emotional intelligence is possible. I'm sure experts will talk a lot more about that, but I'm speaking from a common sense point of view. Thank you.
Any other questions, please? Yes, please. Please identify yourself, ma'am, and then ask the question.
Hello everyone, this is Hiteshi. I'm an entrepreneur and a social impact leader. Today we assembled here to speak about kids, their future, and building skills for tomorrow's world. But what about a world when there is no tomorrow world? What about our planet? What about sustainability? What about the number of suicides, the number of crimes which are happening amongst teens, amongst kids? What about the mental well-being? I'm sure we had a wonderful and amazing conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But, working with a lot of underprivileged kids across the states and across the country, I go empower them with sustainable mental hygiene. I pledge, I would want everybody to pledge and, talk about this. Because a lot of young girls are getting stressed. A lot of young girls are getting depressed, unaware of what's happening with their own body. This is a topic not discussed, in a public forum like this. Barely spoken, very, very unspoken, and, kept in silos. Okay, let's not talk about periods. No more. Not only about periods, this is about sustainable hygiene. Because what all we are using today is all plastic. So I wanted to understand what is that and why we cannot do these things at even private institutions. Why do we limit sustainability and empowering these people only in government institutions? So I would love your thoughts.
So the question is about sustainability. She also pitched in with the problems of teenagers. I actually wanted to, I'll answer this in a minute. I was telling Chandra sir, this had been an intensely tough week for me, intensely tough. 6 o'clock in the morning till 1:30, last 5 days, I haven't slept. I had some other event in the morning. I told sir, give me 15 minutes of meditation. I was meditating inside. And in about 15, 20 minutes, I was absolutely normal. I said mindfulness. Thankfully, a lot of institutions today are talking about meditation, mindfulness, introspection. So while I agree, while I understand your angst, I think schools and colleges are definitely working towards embedding some of these practices in their curriculum, ma'am. I can assure you that.
Thank you. Ma'am, thank you so much for asking that question. Obviously makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure a lot of us will be surprised to know the one problem that is haunting the world is not cancer, not any other disease. It is the depression and mental, issues that human beings are going after. In fact, this World Economic Forum in Davos, 60% of all the countries and country heads, they all came together, and one debate that we all had was, how do we improve our, mental well-being? How do we bring in more sustainability? How do we help, planet being a better place and all of that? And, thanks for acknowledging. And I think in every conference, every conclave, there is already, some effort made in that direction. I'm sure these saplings that they gave is a representation. I'm sure, Excellencia also made a conscious effort on giving this. I remember past in the days where people used to give some giveaways in a plastic bag. These are much better. I think it is the onus and responsibility is on every individual, every parent, every child, and every entrepreneur to see how can we make world a better place, right? I also sit on a panel of what is called the social divide, again run by United Nations. And you will be surprised to know 62% of cause of depression in young kids, young adults, is this, the platforms like Instagram, the platforms like TikTok, where everybody is showing the great life they are having. And it kind of leaves, today every girl, every child wants to look lean, wants to look beautiful, wants to flaunt the great bag they have, great watch they have. It is putting people under enormous, the pseudo reality, which is causing a lot of stress. And I mean, obviously, again, I keep bringing India into every conversation. We're blessed to be in a country. Today, how many mothers, how many parents here for their 10th grade, 12th grade kids, mix nice dal, chawal, pachadi, and tell them, come, let's sit, let's chit-chat about some nice, story. I will tell you how our village used to be. I don't remember if anybody does it today, but while growing up, my grandmother, my parents, they used to sit, make all 4 or 5 kids sit together, mix food in one bowl and then serve it, and we used to eat it with our hands. Believe it or not, following practices like that will reduce 30% chances of your kids slipping into depression and unnecessary things. Please mandate every parent, sit down with your child, take them for coffee, tell them nice Ramayana epics, Mahabharata epics about the great freedom fighters of this country. Try to avoid television, mobile phones, iPads in your house. Please follow a rule after 6 p.m. Throw those useless gadgets in some corner because they are coming between you and your kid. And it is so sad. I remember when we were all growing up, I'm sure most of us will correlate. We all used to live in one large room and spend most of our time there. Mother, father, grandmother, grandfather. Today it is such a, beautiful thing. Oh, this is my elder kid's bedroom. This is my younger kid's bedroom. My younger kid is 3 years old. What will a 3-year kid do in an independent room? Keep them close to you. I remember till our 10th, 12th grade, we used to spend so much physical time with our parents, hanging out with them while my mom is cooking in the kitchen. She used to mandate us, Are Ram Raksha Stotram Chapra, Are Vishnu Sahasram Chapra, or she used to say, tell that story about, salt satyagraha movement that I told you. When we were growing up, when I went to US, when I was living in UK, I used to feel it was such a stupid thing, but today I feel that was the most beautiful thing that parents did, that, our, growing up parents did. So I think as conscious citizens, as conscious parents, children, it is everybody's effort on how can I make this world, this planet, my family, my society a better place. Please avoid using plastics. Like you said, wherever we can reuse, let's reuse a lot of things. I think that will bring in a significant change. And again, I'm no authority in speaking on these lines, but yeah, I think those are few things.
I'll take the moderator's pass and answer that question even further. There is a beautiful aphorism from the Vedas which says, Yatho drishti tatho manah, which means where your attention goes, there goes your mind. So the easiest thing you can do is, where is your child's attention going? If you're spending a lot of time on Instagram or Facebook or some other app, it is pretty obvious that he's going to become lonely. He's going to develop these narcissistic tendencies that we are seeing among students. A point for the parents is, ultimately, we become what we consume. So if you consume only negative things, the eventual reality is that will become negative, as you very correctly said. And even more surprisingly, all the Silicon Valley leaders who create all these apps, they themselves don't let their kids use them. Mark Zuckerberg, the late Steve Jobs and the others, they don't let them. There is a gadget curfew in their homes. So I think we are becoming victims of their creations without knowing it. Any other question, please? And maybe you can take 2-3 questions together. Hello. In the interest of time. And then after that, we will... Yes, sir.
Hello. Can I?
You can decide, ma'am. Both of you. The moderator will not get into
this is Gautami. And I'm glad that I'm here. I think building skills for tomorrow's world on the theme, I would like to question all the panelists, even the bureaucrats. Is there a structured curriculum for AI? Now that a lot of apps and tools are available in Google, is there any, can we plan something like that for our students on entrepreneurial mindset? I think that this is something that we need to think on. I hope you're getting my question.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
it's like a structured curriculum for the both teachers and as well as the students.
Ma'am, are you
having a
asking us
pedagogy.
a question or questioning us? There is a difference. Anyway,
It's both.
Right. So I would like our corporate speaker.
I think there are some good programs. I think first, if at all I have to encourage someone, Andrew Ng is one of the popular leaders in the AI space. There is one course which is free for everyone. But I'm not able to hear fully.
Now, am I audible? Yeah. Sir, I am not asking in general, sir. Can we, as a government of India, I mean, as an educational industry, can we establish an organized structure for both the students and...
That is there already. If you see...
It's there.
Yeah, it's there. The government of India, including the National Council for Vocational Education, as well as AICTE and UGC, including the CBSE and all the boards, they have created a program for structured curriculum for AI education.
And even entrepreneurial mindset, creating that entrepreneurial mindset.
Entrepreneurial mindset is something that basically is one part of it. It's not that we say that this is how everyone has to build an entrepreneurial mindset, right? You have to start getting into the fundamentals, like Sir said, right? What is the problems that are there? What is the problem solving? Critical thinking. So once you put that in, and then there is a problem in front of you, and once kids start to say, how do I now go into next thing? Do I want to be an employee or do I want to be an entrepreneur? So that comes a little bit later. But what I have seen the government of India and all the different states are doing is, they have created a program for AI. How do you make that AI as a fundamental learning element? Even they are telling teachers to use AI. The point, in fact, I liked one of the slides Shastri sir showed, where today's students are taught everything in where someone is like on a stage teaching, right? So programs are already there, structured mechanism is coming in, but it also is imperative for each of the institutions to embrace it.
All right.
Because the problem, unfortunately, is still marks and getting to clear the tests is still the focus, while there's a lot of good structured thinking is coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just to add one more point, I think there is something called AIM Atal Innovation Mission by Niti Aayog, which has a 8-week structured program on entrepreneurship, very successfully run by the government of India. I'm more than happy to connect Excellencia as one of the institutions to run it. I mean, I represent that for the southern Indian part, and especially state of Telangana and Hyderabad, where government gives initial fund, sets up a center in, for example, Excellencia, teaches people about entrepreneurship. The program is called Atal Innovation Mission, run by Niti Aayog.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure government is putting a lot of efforts. I think we'll get there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, you are. Please identify yourselves.
Yeah, good evening, panel. Thank you for this wisdom which you are giving. My name is Ram Prasad. I wanted to ask a question exactly, slightly different from what she has asked just before. One side, we are giving a statement that concepts, application, and communication is something we have to inculcate in our young in order to adapt themselves in future for what AI is giving them. In another word, we are saying AI is everything. Now, there are conflicting remarks against AI. Some people say that initially, if you expose people to AI, it may inhibit their creativity or their conceptual knowledge or their ability to understand what AI is going to give you. So my question was that, is there a strategy, the parent who is now in a dilemma, when do I introduce AI, at what level do I introduce an AI, so that I do not inhibit the values, that is concept, learning and communication of my child, to develop first and then be ready to take on the AI. So what should be that place where I introduce AI to them? Thank you, sir.
I don't think we can have a strategy when AI develops, then we will take up. Now, each institution is evolving its own method of utilization of the artificial intelligence. For instance, the government of AP has started AI in schools, right from the schools. The IITs have started programs where the basics of AI are being taught to anybody who comes forward to learn what are the fundamentals of artificial intelligence and machine learning. In fact, IIT Hyderabad is the first one to start a full-fledged BTech program in artificial intelligence. Now, as friends have already pointed out, it's very difficult at this point of time to limit its introduction. I think we'll have to go along and see how we can take artificial intelligence into our own functioning. You know, it's basically a tool. Artificial intelligence is a tool which will enable you to understand various facets, given there is a data available. So I think it's difficult to say that you wait for a day when AI becomes some kind of an acceptable tool. There are discussions on the use of artificial intelligence. I mean, this is inevitable, as there have been discussions on various tools of technology over a period of time. When first computer came, the same existential problem, I think, has been posed by various people. So I think we will have to take it along and move along. The one thing which some schools in probably Europe, including England, did was to stop using the mobile phone, and they said that these schools districts will not allow any mobile phone. So maybe something like that could be started, but to think of a strategy, wait for a strategy before the introduction of AI probably would be difficult.
I absolutely concur, sir. In fact, in Scandinavian countries like Finland, Iceland, and some other countries like Denmark, there is actually a restriction on using AI. In fact, it's a strict no mobile zone. Something like that can be done, but even the likes of Elon Musk, who have sounded alarm about the use of AI or misuse of AI, they have not been able to do anything. So can all the governments of the world get together, form some global regulation? I think it's a very far-fetched idea.
ChatGPT has also been banned by a number of educational districts, school districts in various countries.
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah, hi, Avinash here, Bruno Art Group. So I have a question for Mr. Ragavendra specifically, because we spoke so much about AI. Can you tell us which industries will be least impacted by AI, so that those are the venues other people can look into?
Sure, I think a great question. Again, I'm no expert. I'm also an user of AI, so please take my guidance as just a suggestion. But some of the industries that have been significantly impacted by AI, where we are directly dealing with, is number one is banking and financial sector. Not just my company, but some of the companies that we have invested in today are using AI for high frequency trading, for market making, liquidity provisioning, and all of that. So we have a company where we have invested, where we have wiped out 600 human traders with completely bots and AI. And we are very happy we did that, because now I can trade 24/7, 365. There are no human tantrums. There is no, fat finger error where they will say, one small decimal can cause millions of dollars of damage. So banking is one area where we have significantly, invested. The second area is QSR, quick service restaurant industry. Be the McDonald's, Wendy's, Domino's, all of these, we work directly with them. They are now doing AI-based precision cooking, which means your veg burger would taste very, very similar, no matter which part of which restaurant you eat, because all the combinations, mixtures, composition, everything is done by AI. So QSR is catching up very fast. Manufacturing, there are 3 big automobile manufacturing units where about 1,200 human beings have been removed from the assembly line and replaced by, robots and, humanoids who are kind of doing a better job. There is another vertical which is into the last mile logistics and all of that. Significant amount of, AIs and bots have taken over and, they have replaced humans. The reason I'm telling you all of this is either they are our portfolio companies or they are our companies where we have done it. Am I happy about it? I am super happy about it because we have to deal less with, human errors. We have to deal less with, imagine suddenly 4 of my traders don't show up on a day when market is doing very well, right? It causes a lot of error. But there is not, AI will never fall sick. AI will never take a leave. AI will never say I am overworked. So we're happy about it. Probably one reason we may not be very happy is because what happens to the people who are, out of those jobs or who are, probably had to be sent out. I'm sure they will reskill and they will find something. So almost every industry has made some advancements and it is only going to grow and it is only going to catch up in the days to come. Thank you.
My name is Sojas and I have a small doubt in my mind. What are the 3 most important skills that companies look for?
Yeah. I thought we had already answered, but we will be happy to answer. The 3 most important skills or competencies that employers look for in...
It is what we are looking, at least I'm representing the IT sector, but the 3 things is the learnability. That's the first skill that we look at, meaning how well you can articulate your ability to kind of learn and use skill. So most of the new interviews are not going to be the programming and other things. It will be more about giving you a problem statement, asking you to articulate how do you go about solving that particular thing. So your ability to learn, ability to reason, that's the first thing. Second thing is we ask for a lot of examples around the internships that sir talked about, right? Have you only learned the skills or the programs in your college, or have you tried to apply it somewhere? Have you attended an internship with some whether it's an institute or in your own capacity or volunteer or whatever? How have you engaged in applying your learnings in a practice? So some examples of that is what we look at it. The third is obviously the new ideas that you have is something that we are looking at, especially in our company. When we are hiring freshers, we are looking at what are some of the ideas that they have, which they think that companies like us can look into. So simple thing, logical skills, learnability as a skill set. Second is your internships or your events that you participated in your college, not just attending classes. And the third one is ideas.
Can I request the audience to please give that boy a huge round of applause? Takes a lot of courage to ask, and this is how we encourage them to rise up and ask questions. Good job. The last question, please.
Good evening to all the dignitaries present over here. So all 5 of you have mentioned a common point, saying that we need to maintain human touch and also maintain social connections. Could you tell us how we could implement that in our student life that's currently happening?
How do you?
How do we implement it? Like, how do we maintain relations out of this virtual world? How do we actually connect with people?
We couldn't understand the crux of the question. Could you please repeat that for us, please?
So you have all mentioned about how we are losing human touch these days. And we are more into AI and implementing more of virtual stuff than the actual real-life connections. How do we maintain real-life connections in a world that is run by digital appliances and all? How do we maintain relations?
I got the question.
I couldn't get, but please answer.
Yeah, I got the question. I think, first of all, phenomenal question. I think everybody should clap for asking such a nice question. I think it is very, very important for every student on what you said in terms of relationship building, in terms of being more human. In the classroom, like I said, my daughter is also in Excellencia, 12th grade, so I know this generation a little bit. I think most of us are in this whole thing of, I want to score well, I want to get into IIT, I wanted to get into BitSat, SAT, all of that. That's all great. What I tell is, can you help one classmate, one friend, one batchmate, who is not great at probably one subject? Can you do one good thing to one classmate each day? I think that is what every kid should do. I think being human, staying more human, less of AI, less of machine, is how can we be more unconditionally friendly, more, spending time with your friends, helping them, talking to them, just talking 5 good things with your classmates, with your batchmates will make a lot of difference to them. I think that is very important. If, kids of your generation, if they can be less attached to phone, be more, involved in the classroom with your friends, with your batchmates, your seniors, your juniors, you're going to do phenomenal good for them and phenomenal good for yourself. I think that can be a starting point, and you can slowly start extending it. Can you help the security guard's kid in your society? Can you help, some neighbor's kid? Can you help somebody who is anywhere you feel somebody who is in need of help, please go out and do it. I am telling you, you will do phenomenal good, not just to yourself, not just to the society, but you will be an example to a lot of other classmates. And it is very viral, right? Once they see you and they start doing, you will build a phenomenal institution. And great question again, yeah.
Thank you very much. I would also like to add, I want all of you to know that no man is an island. If you have reached this stage, a lot of people have contributed to us. If you cannot pay back to them, please pay it forward. If people have done great things to you, please find people to whom you can do great things. That's how we build this great chain of progress. A final question, and then, oh, you're here. Okay, very nice.
Hello, I'm Vihan. I'm studying in Excellencia in 12th grade right now.
Please stop for a minute. He deserves a bigger round of applause for being on the stage.
Almost every one of you have said that having hobbies that we work on is very important. And I feel the same, and I do have many hobbies at my house. So I wanted to ask, when will these hobbies be accounted into the curriculum so that they would look at our hobbies and give marks for us? Because right now, almost everyone looks at our mark sheets before admissions, after admissions. It's all about marks right now. So roughly, what will be the timeline of implementing the use of hobbies?
Very good question. His question is, when are these hobbies integrated into our marks? I think it's time we did that. Maybe they are not being integrated. The one question which we often come across in the civil services interviews is, most of the questions would relate to your hobbies in the civil services. So it's necessary that you fill up that form a little carefully and then articulate them. A hobby, as long as it is useful to you, and as our friend has said here, and to the society, at least one person, I think that should be integrated. In fact, there has been an attempt in some of these states to record the social service rendered by them in terms of their own interests, etc. I think, but perhaps we have not reached a stage where the individual's personality is as such assessed, at least a portion of that is assessed, and there is a lot of that which is done in the Western countries, and I think it should be done. I fully agree with you, as long as it's useful, a hobby which is useful, as our friends have said, and at least for another person. Good.
No, I think even to the previous question and your question, right, if you look at some of the students who are looking at going for international studies, there is the concept of profile building. That profile building is something where you are not getting admission into some of the good reputed universities just because of your academics. If you are invested into some social activity, like he said, around what you are doing, if you are doing something beyond your academics in terms of developing a sports capability, so there are already good mechanisms today in place where that all-round weightage is given, not just academic, but other elements, right? The new education policy that Government of India has launched is also trying to promote that. So now it is up to the institutions and the government, state governments to embrace it, and especially corporates. When the previous question was asked, what do you look for? We are also not looking for only degrees anymore. We are also not looking for so much percentage of marks. We are now going beyond that mark. So good news is it's already coming in. There are few templates like international schools are accepting on a profile. So if at all I have to give you guidance, leverage that thinking. Don't, even if you're not looking at going for higher education outside of the country or anything, that concept of building your profile, which is 360-degree view, academics, sports, sustainability, communication, internships, all of that together is something that will build your career going forward.
All right, with the answer to that question, we call curtains on this wonderful panel discussion. I would like to thank all our esteemed panel moderators for a very interesting, extremely engrossing conversation at a time when our attention spans are dwindling. The fact that we were able to hold the attention of the parents and the students for a good 2.5 hours is a testament to the quality of the panel discussion. I deeply appreciate your participation and your presence here. Thank you very much. One more question? Okay, final question. So this is the twist in the tail. Like, why did Katappa kill Bahubali? We don't know. We have got the answer now after this. Very nice. Please ask.
Sir, like for any BTech degree, it takes 4 years to complete that to get a job in a company. But the same skills and what we learn in that 4 years, we can learn in 3 to 6 months, like through AI and on YouTube. So, like, is that 4 years really necessary to just do that? Or the same question wise, like, can we, instead of doing it after like intermediate second year, at the age of 17, 18, if we do the same course at age of like 14, 15, so we can upgrade more with time. So that's sort of my question.
Venkat sir, your students are extremely thought-provoking. Very well, very well. Very articulate guys. I found them to be very articulate and extremely confident. So good job, the management and teachers. Yes, sir.
The change is coming right now. This concept has been in discussion for some time around skills versus degrees, meaning corporates used to hire people based on the degree. But over the last 6 to 7 years, this debate has already started where some of the institutions were saying, you know, if anyway someone is joining, I'm talking from IT industry, what is the point of someone going through some degree which is not what is relevant? So that's where the concept of degree being a stack of skills rather than an academic program with a fixed schedule of 1 to 4 years or 1 to 3 years for non-engineering, right? That change is happening. And that is where exactly the new education policy I'm excited is because the concept of creating credentials and that concept of aggregation of credentials is what will make you relevant, right? There are already companies, including our own company, where we are saying we will not hire you for your degree, even if you are outside of your intermediate, like +2, and you come out, we basically look at, and if you are ready to join, we can take you, but while you are working, you can build the credentials, right? That is one. Second thing is, we are already going to institutions and saying, don't do internship in 8th year, let every semester be an internship itself, right? So 8 years of, instead of thinking that I can complete my degree in 4 years, you have to say that in 4 years I am going to build so much of skill set with practical application. So which means academics can be 2 months of academics, 3 months of internship. So these are kind of concepts that are coming in, but the good news is more and more, both from government, the education department, as well as the corporates, there is already a thought, no, don't hire for degree, hire for skills, and in some cases, we can actually help you build those skills while you join this. So,
right. I hope that answers your question. So, may I repeat with the response to that question, we call curtains on the panel discussion. Oh, sorry, sir.
Just one last concluding point I want to make. I can see everybody is enamored with technology. But if you think technology is everything, it's a disaster, pardon me. AI is not everything. Sometimes I wonder, am I really hearing what I'm hearing? Of all the 570 million workers in India, only 5.8 million are working in total information technology in the country. 1%. If our imagination does not reach beyond 1%, there's something seriously wrong with us. దేవరకొండ బాలగంగాధర తిలక్ అని ఒక ఆయన ఉన్నాడు, గొప్ప కవి. ప్రార్థన అనే గీతాలు రాశాడు. ఆ ప్రార్థన గీతంలో చెప్తాడను, ఈ దేశం ఆనాడు జనాభా 40 కోట్ల మందే, 40 కోట్ల మంది నిజమైన ప్రాణమున్న మనుషులున్న దేశం. ఈ దేశం గజానికో గాంధారి కొడుకున్న దేశం. ఈ దేశం కడుపు నిండా తిండి, గుండె నిండా ఆహార్యం, బతుకు పొడుగునా కాస్తంత స్వతంత్రం ఉంటేనే చాలనుకుని నిర్భాగ్యులు కోటాను కోట్లుగా ఉన్న దేశం. Our skills, our education, our employment are about fulfilling the needs of these people. AI is important, technology is important, but tell me, how is it going to feed you? How is it going to produce all the vast array of materials that are essential features of modernity today? How is it going to take care of all the healthcare and educational needs? Let there be a wake-up call. కొంచెం నిద్రలేవాలి మనం. Let's use technology, but let's not think technology is the end point. It's an absurd notion. It's a dangerous notion. We are creating a bunch of automatons who are irrelevant to society ultimately. I didn't want to say this. My appeal is, think a little bit. మన చుట్టూ ఉన్న జీవితాన్ని అధిగమించినటువంటి ఉపాధి కానీ నైపుణ్యం కానీ ఇంకోటి ఏం లేదు, వేస్ట్ అది. The second broad point I'd like to make, and I'll conclude with that, is we have immense opportunity today than ever before. Instead of rejoicing, we are getting too sucked into that vortex, getting into a matrix world. మరి ఆ సినిమా ఎందుకు తీసాడో కానీ, we are all thinking the world is one mayajalam, matrix. No, it is full of people. It is full of their needs and their concerns, their emotions, and their missions and their purposes. Let's orient our education, our skills to meet that, the societal needs. Otherwise, we get lost in this, we miss the wood for the trees. My appeal to you very humbly, I don't mean to be harsh, but I think there is a wake-up call needed. At the end of the day, what matters is, what is it that makes our lives richer in the true sense of the term? How do we get fulfilled lives? And never before did we have the opportunity as we have today. Because the two greatest scourges of humankind can, for the first time in the lifetimes of our kids, can be resolved. The unfulfilled potential of every single child, avoidable suffering afflicting every single person. For the first time in human history, both these can be a thing of the past, but only if we have the good sense and wisdom to make technology our tool, our slave, not become its slave. I hope we'll remember that. Thank you.
I'll take about 20 seconds before making the announcement. We have a few more students who have questions, but we will be happy to address them after this session. Feel free to connect with us. And on that note, big thank you to all our esteemed panelists. It was, as I said, a repetition, a very, very interesting, a very engrossing conversation at a time when our attention spans are dwindling. We have shown that it is quite possible to stay put at one place and listen to such experts like the ones that we have assembled this afternoon. Thank you very much. Also, a big thank you to the management of Excellencia for thinking of this panel discussion and doing it in a very professional manner. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next time, better acoustics. Next time, better acoustics.
We sincerely apologize for the acoustics. But all good discussions have to come to a meaningful conclusion. Like Jayaprakash sir has rightly said, problem-solving skills is a key area. In a system where marks become important, I think Excellencia has come out with a mindset being the more important criteria. We have introduced some of the skills which Jayaprakash sir or which Arohi or Chakraani sir or the Ragavendra sir, Satakran sir was saying. One of the problem-solving skills that we have introduced was in terms of homework analytics. But the pity is the children understand it more as an homework rather than understanding it as a problem-solving skill. The second thing that Arohi sir said was the company needs, the future company skills that are required is reasoning, how to analyze. That is where we have introduced a system called error analysis. But again, students look it as a burden rather than understanding the main reason behind why we have to identify our errors, what is the reason behind it, and upgrading their skills. We have introduced the games come out with more articulating their thought process. We have introduced sessions like MUN. We have also debating competitions like Chakraani sir was rightly saying, we need to read papers. In fact, we have made it as a system in our MEC program that they need to read the newspaper and write an essay on what they have read. We have introduced most of the thought process that the session has enlightened. But students also have to understand that it is for their betterment. At the same time, we need to also balance because the system demands marks. That is the reason why in the beginning, I think our visionaries, Venkat Murki sir and Raghu sir have rightly conveyed. Excellencia looks at marks, but more than marks, they look at mindset. And that is what makes Excellencia different. Sir, before I call upon Venkat sir and Raghu sir, I request JP sir to please give mementos to our dance performers. Ramesh sir. I request 3 dance performers to come forward, come on to the stage. Chakraani sir also to come forward to give the memento. Thiru sir and Raghu sir, please join. Satakran sir, please join. I think you need to applaud them and give a big round of claps for the performance. And above all, waiting for almost 1.5 hours in that dress, just on my request that they have to receive the mementos. We have reached a special and meaningful moment of this evening, a moment to honor and express our gratitude to our distinguished guests, whose presence, insights, and experience have truly enriched this conclave. I now request our founder directors, Sri Venkat Murki sir and Raghu sir, to felicitate our esteemed guests. Jamshed sir, Pawan sir, can you please help us? So we'll start one by one. We'll start with JP sir first. JP sir first. Raghu sir and Venkat sir, can you please? A big round of applause for Jayaprakash sir. Chakraani sir, can you please? Tamala Arohi. Sir, Arohi sir, can you please? Ragavendra sir, can you please? Sir, please. Satakran sir, can you? I request the dignitaries to please be seated for the vote of thanks. Thank you, Venkat sir and Raghavendra sir.
What a meaningful and enriching session this has been. To express our gratitude to all our esteemed guests, parents, teachers, and students, I now invite John sir, the academic head of Excellencia Group of Institutions, to present the vote of thanks.
It's been a really wonderful time. Immediately after the rain, there is a beautiful smell of the mud. The entire atmosphere is so awesome to experience. And today we have seen that the whole atmosphere, this convention center, is soaked with a great sense of enlightenment. There are many people who are promising, who stand in the society, who appear to be pillars, but turn out to be caterpillars. But today we see a generation, influencers, who are standing before us, who have been burdened their shoulders with tremendous responsibility of educating these many people. So we are so thankful to you, all these special guests, and a big round of applause for our honorable dignitaries. I would like to specially thank each one of them. Firstly, Jayaprakash sir, thank you sir for taking your valuable time. There are some key things which sir has been highlighting. that are we generating anything useful to the society? Sir's insight was so impactful to understand, to change our notion on how we should be looking at things and how we have to change our perspectives. Along with that, understanding the power of the context, understanding the concepts well, the logics, and ultimately the application for a better society. Thank you, sir, for that excellent insight. Thank you also, Arohi, sir, for giving us some of the key solutions how we can be future ready. Learnability, which is basically needed, and also how to make the students ready. The skill set, the mindset, the tool set, and the data set. Thank you, sir, for such great insights. Thank you also, Ragavendra, sir, for you have given something that is so awesome, that be the best in what you do. The generation of the young people, the future generation, is a generation of entrepreneurs, and every youngster should be aligned with the evolving technology such that they can be prepared for better for the changing landscape. Thank you, sir, for such wonderful insight. And I also thank especially Chakraani, sir. Pillala Vaividhyanni mana gamaninchali. Diversity. And understanding the diversity gives the right direction for the children. And that's how parents need to cooperate. I think that has tons and loads of things to understand in that. Thank you, sir, for such wonderful insight. Also, the moderator, sir, Satakran, sir, highly appreciate for that bullet points which you have presented in the beginning, and also moderating the entire session. Thank you so much for every one of you. Heartfully, we thank you and wish you all the best. And also we thank all the students who have been actively participating. And I think one of the key things which all the dignitaries have told, I'll just paraphrase it and put it in a simple way. Every day of living is worthwhile. Let us greet every morning with a smile. A life of hectic humdrum is this. Never get discouraged, as sun always sets to rise again. So children, never get discouraged, as the power of fear can always be overcome with the power of the strength. Thank you all, dear parents, and thank you the entire team of Excellencia for organizing such wonderful conclave flawlessly, and our wonderful pillars, Raghu sir and Venkat sir, for being the backbone of this entire system and helping us to execute flawlessly. Thank you one and all. And just before we conclude, we shall sing the national anthem. And reverently, I encourage every one of you to stand, and then we shall conclude with the national anthem.
Janagana mana adinayaka jaya he Bharata bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utsala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Utsala Jaladita Ranga Tava Shubha Name Jage Tava Shubha Ashisha Mahe Gahe Tava Jaya Gada Janagana Mangaladayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Bolo Bharat Mata Ki. Before we wind up, sincere request to dignitaries, our center heads are eagerly waiting to have a photo with you all, just for few minutes. Sorry for making you.
Ecco se tensió.